up? Welcome everyone to the Film Vault. I'm Bryan Anderson.
What? You're who?
I'm mumbling. That's my bit. I'm Bryan Anderson. We're your hosts for today. Top 5 quitting scenes. Re-upping that after a few years will be our top 5 this week, as well as we got a lot of movies to talk about. Backlog, if you will, of movies to talk about. We got Furiosa, of course. We got Garfield, top in the box office. You know how to discuss that. You're looking at me strange.
Did you see Garfield?
I mean, there's no more in the box office.
Did you go be part of the problem?
I felt an obligation. The show is a service.
I think my favorite text
Garfield is not seen.
My favorite text that I got all week was from Avery saying, what's the cheapest way to leave this planet? After seeing that news that Garfield beat out Fury. Now, we're not box office people over here. We're not a box office show. But still, like every now and again, common sense comes to mind when seeing the trades, and rage then presents itself.
Well, because the problem is the fucks vote with their dollar, and their vote might mean I get no more Fury Road.
No. They're working on. They're already working on.
Good, because if I get Garfield 9 and George Miller dies before making another one,
I believe it's already in production.
I am burning this country down.
I don't know if you can blame the entire.
I will make Mad Max a reality. And I will have the Riata out on the Fury Road.
Looked into burning this country down during World War
No,
II.
I did not.
They actually were going to. There was a plan. You can look this up for the veracity, but I
not a good plan.
They wanted to set fire to the Pacific Northwest because it's so heavily wooded.
Yes.
In efforts to burn the country down.
They were hoping it would just burn all the way to Coney Island.
Not a great plan, but that was what I've read. It was
it's a pretty wet forest, isn't it? It's not a lot of tinder out there.
You would think that a country that has so much forest
would have
understand this.
Can we not on this episode? Can we not transgress this much already? Can we just stay on topic?
I'm sorry,
because there's movies to be talked about.
There's
films to be talked about. There's movies. Let's get to it.
There's experiences to be talked about.
There are experiences to be talked about. I was very sick last time we did the show, right?
You were absent.
Yes.
I was throwing up.
You were in absentia.
I mean, I was on the show. I just wasn't in front of you spewing because I was very, very sick. I had a double whammy going on. I was throwing up as well as I had the,
You almost killed your wife.
No, she got sick first, all right? So been a lot of sickness since we got back from Japan.
I thought you were the first.
I believe Japan. Look, we're back on Japan. Okay, so
they're going to set fire to your marriage.
The Japans? So they're going to burn down. And now their new plan is to kill my family, apparently. Because ever since I've been back
we must kill the Cowans. I will lead the Jap.
My dog's been sick, like brutally sick. And Jillian's been I had to take her to the hospital, get IV. I've been sick twice. I had tonsillitis. Who has tonsillitis at my age? All right, let's let the Japans off the hook. Let's back to movies, okay?
I was going to say, like Anderson said he wanted to go on topic, and now he's talking about illness.
That's
I know,
right.
it's true. Well, because it was getting somewhere, right? I rarely allow myself to just be so sick that I'm going to lay on a couch or in a bed, which is what I did with tonsillitis. Also, I was trying to stay away from the wife, so I wasn't watching, trashy TV, or I'm way behind on my old, this Last Week Tonight and all our shows behind. What I've been doing? I was quarantining, and it was just myself and Mad Max.
Yes.
Oh, why?
I watched a shit ton of Mad Max.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my God. Out of order.
Did you go into Thunderdome?
I started with Fury Road, right? And then I'm like, you know what? I have not seen Road Warrior in too many years, so I went back, watched Road Warrior after the old Fury Road. Watched Fury Road for the 4th time, I believe, and then Road Warrior, I don't know, like 4th or 5th time. And then I'm like, you know what? Now I got to get into the Thunderdome. I forgot that Thunderdome was not even directed by George Miller alone.
Is that true?
It was co-directed. He and a buddy directed.
Who died, right? It's dedicated to him?
PG-13 is the rating. And when you watch Fury Road and then Road Warrior, and then you're thinking about like all of like the top bad guys in the Mad Max universe, when you see Tina Turner show up in that role
with the saxophone player
and the high heels, and you're like, what? The actual bad guy in that is an actor named Angry Anderson, which I did not know about. His actual name. Not his character name. His actual name is Angry Anderson. That's what he goes by.
I've not seen that film. Is it good to watch?
You have not seen Beyond the Thunderdome? All right, Beyond Thunderdome.
You haven't seen Master Blaster?
Master Blaster, Brian. He doesn't know. He's just a child. Look at him. Now he's got 2 in the heart. It's not nice.
Is that a good watch along?
No, and he went backwards to go from like hard R with. So then I went back and watched Mad Max. First time I saw Mad Max, I was a child, and I'm like, "What the fuck am I watching? This scares me. This makes me feel icky, and I want more, right? Because that's what you do when you're like 8 years old watching Mad Max." Then I watched it as a teenager, or maybe 20s, and I'm like, "This is really schlocky compared to what's come."
Yes, it's very B movie.
Very B movie, very low rent. Then I went back and watched it while sick last week. And I'm like, this movie fucking rules.
It's raw.
It's great.
And it's dangerous as shit what they're doing.
I was not on the meds. No meds.
They almost killed a guy during the filming of the initial one, right?
And he being George Miller actually was in med school, right? Like during the time that he was shooting the original Mad Max. And that's why there's like so much medical stuff going on. And him in like the tent with, the goose all like burned up. And the evil, fun, charismatic bad guy villains in the Mad Max universe might be unrivaled.
Chew the scenery.
It's a more distilled version of Bond, where like the villains are sometimes great, sometimes not so great. This is like condensed,
and they're all based in real world gravity, right? Like no one's shooting to the moon.
If he manages to make more of these, let's say he's able to make two or three more, this might transcend Star Wars for me. This universe might transcend Star Wars to me.
We haven't got there yet. We haven't begun to talk about Furiosa. We're going to, and I can't wait. But my sickness with Mad Max week has cemented the Mad Max universe as my favorite fucking tentpole anything
it's fucking
ever.
Great.
Top five.
Ever.
Top 5 cinematic universes.
I mean, it's going to be a lot of like, not Avatar.
I mean, does Star Wars go up there?
Of course.
But I'm saying there are many. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is number one for me.
Really,
it's
we're
because
saying franchises.
I didn't realize it until really watching Furiosa the first time. And then while I'm watching it the second time, I'm like, yes.
I need to go back.
This is the world that I want to live in. So I have seen, what is
it?
5 hours, 7. I mean, I haven't done the math here. 7, 8, 9.
Listen,
10,
as
11.
great as the universe is, I don't want to live
I spent around 12 hours with Mad Max, which is something that I normally could not afford to do, but because of the sickness, and I couldn't go out with clients because I was sick.
The universe was
12 hours in the wasteland, Brian and Avery.
You got called by a
glorious.
client. Can't talk. Maxon.
Oh, I love it. I fucking love it.
Makes me want to. I bought the Mad Max game. It's very authentic and true to it.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel that way. You build your own car and then you just fucking smash into guys as you're doing missions. It's great.
It's satisfying.
Oh, it's exactly like you find war parties and you just smash into them.
Okay, let's get through the obligatory shit
Flamethrowers.
so we can get into Furiosa
let me say that
I want to explain like some things that I definitely recognized and noticed why I love it, why I respond to it so much, and cannot wait to talk more about Furiosa and then Garfield, I guess.
Because according to National Geographic, between November of 44 and April of 45,
shit?
the Japanese launched about 9,000 high-altitude balloon bombs known as fire balloons that were carried across the Pacific in the atmospheric jet stream with the aim of starting forest fires in the western United States.
Speaking of flying machines.
I haven't heard shit.
Holy fuck. The flying machine.
Okay, we're going to get there. We'll get there.
The squid?
The squid was tight. Especially with the way the squid... Like, we're going to be doing a spoiler on Furiosa. We're going to be admonishing anyone who... I woke up at 3 a.m. almost throwing up from the idea of the maggots on the feet. That was brutal, Brian. Were they eating them?
No.
Is that what they were doing? I think they were. I think they were using it for protein.
Oh, they are eating the maggots, yes.
Yeah, they're eating the maggots, right?
Yeah.
It is filthy disgusting, this universe that he's put together. It doesn't belong in a $200 million movie.
I want to live there.
I want to spend a lot of time there and be able to push pause.
I know they're eating the maggots because George Miller helped make the game, and to regain your health bar, you walk up to corpses and eat maggots out of them. The first 5 minutes, he's like, here's your health bar. Here's how you get more health. And you just get a handful of maggots.
Speaking of George Miller, we're also going to be talking a little Happy Feet, which I'm looking forward to. We're going to push Alice in Cities down till next week. That's Nick Eats Cake. That's Nick Eats Cake. I haven't had a chance to talk to him yet. I've been too busy maxing. We'll be watching Wim Wenders' Alice in the Cities, which I watched the morning the same day that I watched Furiosa the first time that night. And that gave me the bends watching Alice in the Cities that morning.
Those are very different paced films.
And then going to see IMAX Furiosa. All right.
Did you see it in Dolby?
I saw it in Dolby, IMAX, and then I saw it.
Make sure you saw this because the Dolby, holy fuck.
The second time I saw it at the Academy Theater.
Oh, yes.
And it was beautiful.
Oh, you've got boots on the ground.
Boots on
You
the
saw the
ground.
man.
I saw the man.
You spoke to the history man.
The history man was right in front of me, yes.
Oh, that's me.
It's not
Just
you.
dropping tidbits. That's all I'm good for in that world.
You would be like
you
that
would be
guy.
the instrument, and you've
I
got
would
the
be.
Minus
bald
the
head.
tattoos.
So there's more space to tattoo your bald head.
That's right.
Okay. Let's
Just facts all. Please, listener, me as the history man.
obligatory. Let's
Just
get to it.
facts all over.
About just wine and baseball and Transformers.
Yeah. Totally
You
useless.
should, so Brian's got like a 30 pack of Coors Light Silver Bullets in the kitchen. I'm like, it's the equivalent of a keg of beer. And Brian's like, well, actually, a keg of beer is about 155 beers. And I'm like, I knew you were gonna say it. I knew it.
Baited him.
I did bait him.
I was gonna say it's right there.
Okay.
All right. Wanna
Okay.
hear
Yeah. Here's the best news, and I'm corroborating. I'm what is the word? God damn it, Brian.
Corroborate.
I'm confirming that Mad Max: The Wasteland. Too late. They're already making it.
Oh.
Can't pull the plug now, Garfield fuckers. Can't do it.
Fuck you,
already out there.
WB. Suck it.
We got a Batgirl movie that there was all night today.
They're not going to do that to it, Brian. That's a different story.
I will storm the back lot if they Batgirl this thing.
I will.
It says in
run out of
production.
there with the film prints on my arm.
I will end up in a federal penitentiary.
Can you imagine? My hell is a man in a Garfield suit shows up to the Australian outback with papers in hand saying, sorry, you're being shut down.
Now I'm retroactively thinking of you because on the drive home from the desert that we made today, my wife and I and my family, we passed a giant like flatbed truck with I'll just say gigantic Garfield. Like it had been used for a promotion somewhere, obviously,
Yeah.
but it was a gigantic Garfield.
Oh, I wonder if it was the one. My Atticus has been seeing him around town. We actually went and I almost took a picture with him in front of it, just because it's one of the cooler.
You've got a moving bus stop,
It
a
was
bus stop
actually
that
in West
blinks
LA.
right
It
by
was
you.
It was right.
They have bus stops where he's like full 3D over it,
And he blinks.
Yeah, and I
There's
was
one
like,
right down the street from
Garfield,
you.
the fat orange cat was just blinking, Dad. And I'm like, I made a U-turn to go back and
How
see it. I'm
humongous is it? Because the one I
It's
saw
big.
was large.
It's by Stalking Horse. It's probably the size of like a panda. It's pretty big.
Nice.
Well, I heard that that's the problem. And with Wasteland, they're going to bring Iota back somehow. The Dar, what's his name? With the guitar.
The Doofor.
The Dufour, yeah. And they're going to put him like life size over bus stops.
Oh, he made a brief appearance.
Oh
in
yeah,
this
he
one.
did.
I mean, that's just to catch everybody up to
Yeah.
get them ready for the next one.
No. He was in a scene.
But I'm saying he didn't have a
Barely.
big
Oh,
part.
but it's a cool scene.
It was barely.
Cut to
Not
glimpse.
really. I mean, no. It was actually it wasn't in the movie.
Yeah, it was.
No, was it?
As they're gathering the bodies.
Oh yeah, it was that was kind of a cop out, like the
No.
war, the 40-day war, and we get to see like 40 seconds of it. Come on, give me an entire movie of just that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's a movie.
Oh my god, I can see in it. I could see. You know
Was
how
it
they did
40
with
days
the.
or was it like 12 days?
I don't know. They're
40
going.
days.
There's
It was the 40 days
1-day
war.
wars, 1,000-day wars, and this was, I think, a 40-day war, right?
Thus began the 40-day battle.
Everyone loving their Game of Thrones. Like, this is my Game of Thrones, especially with the different, okay, let's get to the obligatory. Let's go.
I want to be a billionaire because I would give my entire fortune to I would just kidnap George Miller and go make one of these every year.
It is surprising.
He could, because
Yes.
every character that I see, I'm like, I want his backstory. I
Yes.
want to know all about him. I want to know about that guy. Like, there's so many. There's probably 30 characters that we're introduced to in this movie where I'm like, I could see an entire movie on that person.
Oh yeah.
It is somewhat surprising, not really considering that I don't think a lot of billionaires are super into the arts, but that billionaires like get into like buying sports teams and not
Yes.
like financing films.
they like to win.
But like, what if like, oh, I'm a billionaire and I grew up loving Star Wars or Star Trek or whatever. I'm gonna take 20 million of my $8 billion and we're gonna make a fucking Star Trek movie
Yeah.
or whatever.
How do you think that would be received, though? Like, if Plastic Face started making Star Trek movies, I bet a lot of people would be like, oh, no.
I mean, to be fair, Bezos did that a little bit. Wasn't with Lord of the Rings? It was just shit.
he made way more money on groupers than anyone else did. I can tell you that. That's 100%.
So Bezos was the closest, I think, to doing that.
I feel like Mark Cuban had Magnolia Studios.
Get in
So
the-
I don't know if that's sort
If
of
you
a
own the
roundabout
studio.
way, but it was not what I'm talking about. Anyway.
But fuck that, Brian. Why don't they like go into Flint, Michigan, and like fix the water problem and like put their name on the city?
Yeah, there's a lot they could do.
Why-
Here we
why not
are
that?
fucking talking about frivolous movies.
Yeah.
Like important movies.
I know.
Mad Max is close.
Yeah, I mean, it makes me.
Curing the water crisis?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's right there. It brings so much joy, Brian. You know what doesn't bring a lot of joy? And this is a movie I'll be talking about next week. Coffee Table. The Coffee Table will be discussed next week. It's a tough watch. It's one of the tougher watches I've ever had, maybe. And it was, and not because it was bad filmmaking. It was just nothing but dread for me.
I have not watched it.
And I'm excited to talk about it next week. But it's a dark comedy. I've been
looking
hearing
forward
about
to missing it.
what a dark comedy it was and how dark it was. Oh, it was dark. I didn't really find I needed comedy, and I could see where I could have liked the coffee table, but not in the form that they made it. And it was just me wringing my hands, going, "Oh God, this is the worst. I feel sick," which is a testament, I guess, to the filmmaking.
Yeah, the mission achieved.
Okay, let's do the obligatory for fuck's sake.
Speaking of feeling sick,
Yeah, what did the listeners see?
listeners, little fan fiction compiled by Mike Cole. Oh, meat juice guy on Reddit.
Me choose.
Furiosa.
Is that how he identifies himself?
George Miller does it again.
He did.
I'd count this one as just a notch below Fury Road. Anya Taylor-Joy was excellent in a nearly silent role, and Chris Hemsworth chewed up every bit of scenery he could find. I enjoyed the chapter storytelling, yet nothing felt rushed, not even the time jump. Someone get George Miller some immortality pills. I'm going to need 10 more Mad Max movies. You're fucking right, Meat Juice Guy. Curtis Helms on X. Furiosa. A great return to the world. Notably different from Fury Road and being a more personal journey than wall-to-wall action.
It's the Fablemans of the Mad Max world.
Brian.
I quit the show. But when the action hits, it's just as enthralling. Could have used a bit more Dementis in an effort to build him as a more detestable character. He's pretty
I think it
detestable.
worked pretty well.
I detested him.
Did you?
He was,
He had to be
He was
hard.
unlikable.
oh, he explained it.
Yeah, he did.
I don't know if I picked up everything he was putting down.
Might have been rationalizing a little bit. You bring out the talk.
Hindsight is 2020. David the Eller on Instagram. Furiosa was a fucking masterpiece. The marketing kept me skeptical, but I enjoyed every minute of that movie. Can't remember the last time I wanted to go directly back into the theater and watch a movie again.
Wow.
I need to see it a second time to be sure, but this might be a 5-star movie for me. Do you want to guess the FET score for Furiosa?
It's gotta be
100.
100.
It's 100.
Yeah.
100.
It's a hard movie to nitpick.
It's a hard movie to just say no.
Yeah.
I know. I think when we were checking in on your Rotten Tomatoes last week, it was like 84 or something.
It's up to 89 now.
Is that just people being kind of grossed out, or like, oh, it's kind of yucky?
It went up.
Like, who would say
Yeah, it
it's
did
not
go
a
up.
good?
It was the
Rare.
rare went up.
Who would say that's just? I mean, who could sit down and watch it and be like, okay, for what movies are and what they're set out to do? Like, how could you say that's not a good movie?
If Fury Road didn't exist, I think it would be close to 100%.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think the only nitpick, the only nit that I can pick with this movie is by comparing
It's
it
not
to
Fury Road.
Fury
It's
Road.
kind of hard not to think about them both as like just one big movie. Like you can do that.
Oh, yeah.
You can do that. And when you do that, okay, let's get into
He
it.
wanted you to. Oh, we have to finish Fanflickssions. Thomas Hamon on Instagram. The last stop in Yuma County.
Oh fuck, we doing that today? This week?
Yeah.
Well, on the menu.
Had some elements of Saulnier. Is that it?
Saulnier.
During Saulnier.
Oh, Saulnier. Wes Anderson and Tarantino.
Wes Anderson.
Lots of laughs
don't know
mixed in with the
about that.
chaos and the tension. Perfect 90 minutes so I could watch it in one sitting without issue. Wife enjoyed it too, but said it was kind of depressing.
It was
4 to 5 stars.
Little Wild Tales.
Little Coen Brothers. Yeah,
Little
yeah.
Wild Tales.
Ooh, Mitch Burns on Facebook. Coffee Table. Some of my friends over at Cinema Dicks have said this is a pretty good disturbing movie, but they don't know who to recommend it to. I disagree on both those counts. It's not very good, and I know who to recommend it to. No one. It isn't funny enough to be a dark comedy. Isn't horrific enough to be horror, and it isn't well written enough to carry you through the supposed tension.
Was that the Mitch Burns?
That's the Mitch Burns.
Hey, Mitch, we're lining up on that one almost 100%.
Things
it was
are
just
lining
fucking
up.
dread throughout that movie. You know that feeling you get? Actually, Brian, you probably never had it. Where
Describe
like
it.
you do something in school and you know you're bust, like elementary school, and you're like, oh fuck, I got caught, and now my parents are gonna know in 2 or 3 days. And for 2 or 3 days,
Oh,
you're just
sure.
sitting there
Pins
like,
and needles.
oh god. That's what this movie was for 90 minutes, like an intense feeling of that. It just
Yeah.
never goes away. Like he's going to have to tell her the worst possible thing that you could ever tell a mother, and it's his fault. And we got to sit there with this guy for 90 minutes of that feeling.
No thanks.
And it
I'd
wasn't.
rather not.
I wanted some humor. I wanted some fun. There was some funny stuff, but it wasn't nearly enough to even get me to smile. I don't think. I was just like, oh god. Glad I saw it. Glad I saw it. Yeah. All right.
Devin Miller. AZ on Instagram. Babes. Very funny, realistic look at female friendship, pregnancy, and motherhood. Ilana Glazer and Michelle Buteau were hilarious, and director Pamela Adlon showed she could translate her skills from better things to the big screen. 4 to 5 stars. And lastly, John Aramini on Facebook. Hundreds of Beavers is an incredible achievement. Made for $150K with a clear vision, great aesthetics, and clever gags. It's Looney Tunes meets slapstick silent comedy. Absolutely worth seeing, but the frenetic silliness gets exhausting, and I needed to watch it in smaller chunks.
What's it called? The Beavers?
Hundreds of beavers. Hundreds of beavers. This was brought up, I think, last week. Somebody brought this up to me.
Sounds like Sweet Threesome Andy, his autobiography.
Why is that?
Hundreds of beavers.
I get it. I get what you're saying. Because I used to like to go hang out in Canada.
Yep.
I saw a tweet.
You like McDams.
I'm not going to do the tweet any justice, but the guy's like, what's with beavers? Are they just like, no, absolutely not on my watch, that water's not getting through. Not on my watch.
Not today. Did you see what Soderbergh said about Fury Road?
I meant to bring that up
How
last
it's
week
ruining
when
his
we were
life?
doing, oh, did he say that? Because I had a Soderbergh quote that I meant to bring up on Top 5 Stunts.
What did he say?
His quote was, I don't understand how they're not still making that movie right now.
Yep. Yes.
And how hundreds of people aren't
Didn't
dead.
die. He's the last part of the quote is he's watched that movie and says he could not make 90 seconds of that film. Any of that film.
That's how I feel when I look at it. Fury Road in particular. Not so much Furiosa, but Furiosa
that's
as
how you
well.
felt about Fury
Fury
Road.
Road, like, especially when they're on their way back to the Citadel. I was telling you guys, I think last week, like, it just doesn't make, I don't understand how they did that. Like, it doesn't make sense. It'd be like if you were watching like an anime or something, and then all of a sudden it just turned into live action. You're like, wait, how? But they can't.
But that's not, or if they just walked through the screen. You're like, what the
It just doesn't make sense. Like the scene where they're spitting the fuel, the high octane fuel, into the air intake.
Yeah.
It's just.
I'm convinced he went to a different planet. I believe he went to a different planet. That's how it feels.
Because they have to contend with actual gravity, especially because, well, I mean, there's harnesses and whatnot. But
There's laws of physics.
They could cheat a whole lot more with Furiosa because of the technology and how far it's come in the last 9 years, and they were able to do. But I mean, okay, let's.
You obviously caught the little nod to Max himself.
Garfield. Oh, what's that now?
Max was up in the up on the cliff with the binoculars.
Oh, I thought that was his twin brother that looked just like him that drove
Max.
the exact same car.
Max
Well,
that was supposed to be him.
He's instrumental.
You know what?
saw it twice.
I'm sitting there. Yeah, I saw it the first time. He's eating his dog food in that scene, I think.
The Interceptor.
And I'm like, so what happened in between? Because Scrotus isn't in Fury either. How is Scrotus not in Fury?
No, but Scrotus is the villain of the video game. It's pretty sad.
Yeah, I was talking to
Which
Better
one's
Bryan.
Scrotus?
He's the early man looking guy. I am Scrotus.
But that actor is in Fury Road.
Okay, well maybe
He's
that's
not.
why.
He's
he's
Nicholas
never
Holt's
character?
best friend.
What happened? Really?
Yeah, it's the same guy. Him and Scrotus are the same.
Oh yeah. Okay, so he's got the. Oh really?
Same actor.
Because he's the guy that's spitting the high octane into the air intake.
Yes.
When they're going back to the Citadel.
Yeah. That guy is playing Scrotus. In
You
this.
would never recognize him. There's so much makeup on. Okay, so let's get to it.
I saw. Oh,
She's the
It's like-
darkest angel.
It's top 50 all time. It's top 50 all time for me.
The fifth horse of the apocalypse.
Holy shit, this fucking movie.
I want to be a history man, and I want to pump action shotgun. And I want to drive.
Why do you want to be history?
I don't. I want to
He's
be
crying real tears.
No, I want to be in that big rig with some fucking grease paint smeared on my eyes.
I think I want to be a war boy.
I'm fine with history, man.
Really?
I'm fine with that.
Point one out. Pick one.
Okay. This movie has so... Okay, do the... I'm sorry. I love this movie so much.
I saw a film. It's directed by George Miller.
You son of a bitch.
He's doing his thing. Come on, Brian.
Happy Feet
No,
is a
no,
2006
we're not-
film
We're not- we
starring
can't.
voice talents of Elijah.
No, we'll get back to the Happy Feet. All right, let's come on.
Furiosa,
You're edgy-
Mad Max Saga is a 2024 film directed by George Miller, starring. Is it? Are we settling on Anna? Is it Anna or is it Anya?
It's Anya, right?
I thought it was, but I've
Pretty
been
sure it's Anya.
corrected. Right?
By who?
Anya, no, you. Anya Taylor-Joy,
It's Anya.
Chris Hemsworth, Tom Burke, Larry Holm, and Aaliyah Brown. Let's say Aaliyah. Aaliyah Brown. 90% Rotten Tomatoes, although it could be 89, depending on whatever he finds out. In theaters now. Where did we start with Furiosa?
She's Anya, is how she pronounced it. Anya.
Okay.
Anya, don't call me Anya.
God damn it.
Is the full name there.
In describing this to Christy, she's like, is it good? I'm like, it's really good. I'm like, it maybe wasn't what I was expecting, but it's like when your favorite rock band has an acoustic album. It's really good, and you like those songs, but it's not what you were like, I'm primed for this, and I was like, oh, it's a little bit different. I don't know. Do you feel the same way?
It's different in the sense
it's still
that
good.
it's much more expansive than the first. Okay, here's the main thing that I took zero notes either time that I watched it, and I thought about obviously what I responded to most and what I liked most. And sorry, I got a little bit of a nasally drone going here, which is unfortunate. But the best parts of Fury Road are better than the best parts of Furiosa, if that makes sense.
Sure.
I think it tops it by a little bit.
I agree.
But as far as action goes, and that's what it primarily is, right? These are both action
movies.
There's,
as I recall, you've seen it twice. There's more wall-to-wall action in Fury Road than there is in Furiosa.
And
There's
the
more
action
backstory and more character development.
And it's kind of like the same thing with Spider-Verse. We had never seen anything like that before. And then when we got the second one, it was kind of more of the same, but it wasn't able to quite top it. The best parts, the best action sequence. Okay, so the best action sequence in this one is the stowaway scene. I think we can all agree on that.
And that was, for my money, I'd have to see it again. That might top
I can just tell you from
something
recency,
that was done in Fury Road. It was fucking unbelievable.
If you're watching that and then you're watching the ride back to the Citadel, those two back to back, I still think that the ride back, they're both fucking glorious.
But because it's longer, I think Citadel takes the cake because it's just glorious and it has more scale and spectacle. But the new wrinkle they added that I didn't think I'd ever see was amazing.
Yeah, because they kept pulling out the stops. It's like, what else can we? It's like Circuit du Soleil. Like they have to, like, what are we going to do next to like wow the audience? And well, you got to kind of be like, okay, well, is that really going to give them an advantage? Sure, they got the height advantage now because they're up there and they're parasailing, but they're giant, easy targets too.
That's
Whatever,
true.
it's a spectacle.
They're floating.
And the way that he directs, the way that he puts this on screen, guys, I don't like action. I don't like action.
If I can interrupt,
If it's going 100 miles an hour, I love it. Go ahead.
It does make sense story-wise that the paragliders would be in this one because they would realize that, that's not a great military strategy, and they would abandon it by the events of
they might.
Or they'd all get wiped out.
They're done. I think that faction is no longer with us, right? They splintered off. Okay.
I would imagine that strategy was not replicated.
The weakness of this Furiosa, I'd say I don't want to say the entire opening scene, but the first half of the opening scene where they're in the green place, all that was just absolute shit.
It's very Thunderdome.
Opening on
the green place was 5 minutes.
Opening on the history guy, and then he disappears, didn't quite do. I'm like, oh no, here we go. He's regressing. And then we go to the
Which is how I felt about, remember, we both felt the same way about seeing Fury Road. First 10 minutes, we're like, I don't know if I like this movie.
Yeah,
and then it reaches the hook point.
When I saw the dark, why can't I never remember his name? Iota is what I was called because that's his actual name. When I first saw him, I'm like, it's Dufour. Yeah, Dufour Warrior. I'm like, it's just too much. And I'm like, but maybe it's not nearly enough. I need more. I get switched like that. Yeah. So when she's grabbing the fucking fake apple or peach or whatever it is, and she twists it, and there's like the perfect break in it, I'm like, what are we doing? What's going on? And then like the guys, the Marauders are already there coming up the horse. I'm like, how did they not hear that? What? Like I was thinking like I was like rewriting that scene and just annoyed. I think they could have watched them like hunting the horse and like killing the fucking horse. That would have been a pretty awesome,
Yeah.
I'm like, where are we going? And then she gets taken. I'm like, what is this? And then we see their faces. I'm like, I don't want to see their faces. I want them to be like creature legs. And then when her mom starts going after her, and then we start getting the pacing. And then once he actually gets back,
once he arrives at the horse,
and then
that was actually pretty sweet.
It takes off, and it becomes a much different flavor than Fury Road, in the sense that there's way more humor. I mean. Yes. He's really letting the humor sing in this one. And I think a lot of that is Hemsworth.
Hemsworth is
best role he's ever had.
So happy to not be Thor for a minute, right? In a big giant movie.
This is the best acting I've ever seen him do.
Unrecognizable. That nose goes
a long way.
And his teeth.
They took the nose from one of the stunt guys. They're like, we like his bake. Let's give that. And they did a mold of his nose. Yeah. And then they put that nose on Hemsworth. Really? Yeah. And the world, I hate the fucking, the world building thing gets a little bit overused.
But in this scenario.
But just seeing the different fortresses and getting a better idea of the landscape and where
and
everything
the politics.
is and what's going on in the politics, I want more. And it's like it's done poorly when you're seeing like Phantom Menace, right? And it's just a bunch of white old dudes in the Senate arguing about bullshit politics.
Yeah, this is the action version of that.
Yes. Yeah. And it fucking works.
Oh,
this is the show don't tell.
They're plotting on the table and he's pouring sand on the teddy bear and they're like, there was the War of the Roses. And he's just going through the battles of history.
He did compromise some time there because that could have been at least a large large scene,
Well,
right?
I don't know if he had the budget for that.
It's a movie unto itself.
Yeah.
And maybe they'll go back. Because, I mean, I still don't know what happened to Scrotus, and I actually care. I don't know. It's ridiculous that I care. But
did he show up again after the 40 Days War? Because maybe he died.
the last time, and I was talking to Better Bryan earlier today and talking about his topic tonight, which is top 5 quitting scenes. He reminded me the last time we see him, he's like, where's she going? That's my car. Remember?
Yeah.
No, sorry, I don't remember that.
You don't remember that?
But is it before or after?
She is the
40 Days War?
darkest of warriors.
It's during or after?
It's right after the.
Yeah.
It's right before the final scene.
Okay.
And we never see like his demise. We don't see him end.
Huh.
This is the most grotesque one he's made.
I
It
have to
is.
agree with that.
He does not give a fuck if you're squeamish.
No.
Or he's not pandering with this movie at all.
No.
Not that
You
Fury
think this
Road
is
was,
more so
but
than Fury Road?
I'd
Oh,
say so.
yeah.
I remember Fury Road being pretty icky.
You were really turned off by Fury
I
Road when you
was.
came in here, and that was one of your main takeaways. Was
There
this
were
movie is really hard.
A lot of boils.
A lot of boys because it's like the Fallout. It's a radiation, right? These guys are drinking like tainted water and stuff. They all the war boys are like, they might have like a 25-year lifespan because of all the radiation.
this is way there's maggots and bottles of piss and pedophilia
Cannibals.
and like assault.
Yeah.
And it's
All right, fine.
It's
that's
more
right.
authentic Wasteland, I think. The
yeah,
way the
and
Wasteland
cannibal.
would
Oh
be.
yeah,
Oh, I love this movie. I don't
the
wanna watch
war
it.
rig, the frescoes on the war rig,
Yeah.
the silver carvings.
Yeah, it was like Nazi-esque, right? Like how they went with like the
Oh,
big
yeah.
symbols and whatnot, and old Cold War
Very
USSR.
totalitarian.
Well, a tribute to Rome too. It was very Roman in
a
its
lot
style.
of Rome, yeah.
Almost Ben Hur, you know what I mean? With the
We didn't even talk about that, Brian.
Well, we haven't talked about Hemsworth really at all.
Hemsworth and his three
His chariots.
oh sure, yeah. His 3 motorcycle chariot.
So inventive, so awesome.
Needlessly elaborate.
Did you like this movie, Brian?
Yeah, I likes it a lot.
Brian?
World War Z. World War Z might be a notch. No, there's a very good movie. There's a 4-star movie for me. 4. Yeah.
What takes it to 5?
Well, I gotta see it again. You know what I mean? This is my initial reaction. I've seen it a couple days ago, but very good. Like I described, maybe not what I was craving, or it didn't quench that thirst, but still very good.
Were you looking for like high octane
Yeah,
action?
the sort of wall-to-wall action. You know what I mean?
I like
Yeah.
that this one got to breathe a little bit more, and you got to see.
I agree. Satisfying
Because-
on a different level.
And going back and watching all 5 of them, and having the luxury to do so in Furiosa twice since I last saw you because of the sickness, which it couldn't have worked out better. I actually, now that I speak these words to you, I'm like, I got really lucky there. Like every single one of the antagonists have this flair about them, this person, this charisma and comedy to them. But you know, Morton Joe has this mediocre line, but he didn't get to do a whole lot in Fury Road. And like we were talking about, Hemsworth really makes the most of that role that he's got. And you know what's funny too? In the first 2, Mad Max, Fury Road. I'm sorry, Mad Max and then Road Warrior. Like he was really. George Miller and the other writers involved were really going down like this homophobic path where like the bad guys were all androgynous leather and like the dude with the mohawk in Road Warrior, I didn't even pick up on it when I was a little kid, but like he's got like a boyfriend on the back of his bike everywhere he goes. They're still going a little bit with the S&M thing, but like it was homophobic, like where
it was
Mad Max was very. Go ahead.
I'll say it's adjacent to Police Academy. Stay with me with the Blue Oyster Bar.
Dude,
It was the same flavor.
I never realized this until that, and I haven't done the research, but what Bobcat Goldthwait's doing in Police Academy and what the Mohawk dude, and I should know his name, is doing in Road Warrior, it's identical. Like one of them is stealing from the other, or they're both, I don't know which one can't, what's happening there.
I think Mad Max came first.
Bobcat Goldthwait is that I mean,
as Zed.
Yeah, he's Zed, dude. He's like, it was almost comical watching. I was terrified when I was a little kid. But watching it, I kept thinking about Bobcat. He was very Bobcat-like. Like when his boyfriend gets killed, he's like, he's like a rabid dog. They have to have him on a leash at one point because like he's so mad in one of the end battle scenes. And then when they're letting him kill Mad Max, they take his leash off so he can, because he's such a rabid dog, he couldn't be controlled. What was that dude's name?
I had forgotten about that.
What was that dude's? I would like to thank Scott Simonson as well, who invited me to the to the screening at the Academy. I got to see that. So I saw it in IMAX on Thursday, and then I got to go see it again on Saturday. And then afterward, we sat front row like nerds. I requested it because the seating is good, so you can sit in the front row, still get a good. It wasn't like an extra straight up. And then we got to see Hemsworth and George Miller come out.
Oh, both.
Nice.
And they got a little Q&A, which was enjoyable, and learned a couple things.
Did you ask any cues?
No, they don't take cues from the audience. But the audience gave him a standing ovation. I felt like obligated. I felt douchey, but I had to stand up.
Oh, yeah.
I had to stand
It's
up.
your chance to appreciate Miller to his face.
I did, but I mean, it was one of those things where like people, I wasn't going to stand up, and then other people, I'm like, oh God, do I have to? I guess it felt like such a follower move, but I had to.
You had to show fealty to Dementis.
Scott was telling me, because he's been going for years.
Dr. Dementis.
Scott went to a Q&A for a Dallas Buyers Club way back in the day, and he stood up afterwards. Matthew McConaughey came out, and he stood up afterwards to give Matthew McConaughey a standing ovation. He's the only one.
Earned. Oh,
Nobody else stood up. But he got a little double guns from Matthew McConaughey.
That's nice.
Scott did. But yeah, it was fantastic.
Nice.
I still can't believe that was Hemsworth.
At Con, it would have gotten like 9 minutes.
They said 7 minutes.
Oh,
They actually mentioned it in the Q&A.
Oh, really?
So what'd you learn in the questions?
Can't remember because I've listened to like 2 or 3 other interviews since, so I don't remember exactly which. He was bitching again, and I've heard him in 3 different interviews over the last 7 years, George Miller, that is, and he's very, very upset still about the original Mad Max getting dubbed with American accents because the American distributor back in '79 didn't think Americans were ready for the Australian accent, and most people were shocked at that time. It's like in the mid '70s, people were surprised. Americans were surprised that Australians spoke English.
What?
How crazy is that?
Wow, that is.
But that's what he was saying. Yeah, I know.
That's 79. Not 39.
Mid '70s, he was saying. Like I was alive when people were like, "Wait, they speak English in Australia?"
Mark Crimmins was kicking. Was alive and well. He was dropping acid and
Mark
listening
was
to
speaking
Sabbath.
English.
Kicking ass.
Listener Mark Crimmins was.
And the Americans didn't think he could speak English. That's insane.
So I guess we could talk more about some of the set pieces, the stunts, and I guess the end, whether it was satisfying enough or
In the
not.
spoilers, yeah.
In the spoilers, we're gonna have to do that.
A lot of guns. I like the guns.
I have a potentially,
4
I don't know
stars.
how controversial it is, but an observation on the film that I would rather not hear from anyone about, but I feel I have to reveal it. So I feel like the spoiler edition is a good place.
This is a safe place.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it about the shoes? Because that bothers me.
No, why? What
Who
are
makes the shoes?
Oh,
I didn't
Iota's
even
wearing
notice the
Converse in Fury Road. He's just blatantly wearing Converse.
Probably found some.
Maybe?
Yeah.
How long has it been? I need to know. How long has it been since the bombs
yeah, but
been
you know what,
dropped?
though, even if it's only been 10 years.
They must be able to fabricate
If you-
tires. So
Yeah, if you break into a shutdown
factory.
DSW,
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to get a whole bunch of shoes.
And they're probably getting into the Darfur Warrior. What the fuck's his name?
Doof.
Doof Warrior.
Doof.
That's so simple. Doof Warrior. I am Scrotus. I am Rectus. No, what is it? Yeah,
Rictus Erectus.
Rectus Erectus. Dude, do they remind you of the Trump brothers a little bit? I think that's what they're modeled after.
Safe.
Oh, really? Is that where you're going?
I think what knocks us down from 5 to 4.5 stars for me was a little too much kid Furiosa. I couldn't
Took
use
too long?
I liked what was happening around her, but
Little D?
She was
Little
good.
D.
Little D was
but
good.
once Anya gets there, it really starts to go. Hemsworth is really buoying the front half.
It's a 4.5 star movie. It's nearly perfect. It really is. The two of them together, you might just be a 5-star, 5-hour masterpiece. It really
Very
might be.
enjoyable.
Now I will have to always watch them back to back.
I
I
may
can
have
tell
to
you
see
this.
it again.
What I learned about George Miller when I saw him walk out is that he's sharp as a fucking tack. He's almost 80 years old. He looks just like he does in the pictures that you see. He's wearing the glasses, and he looks like
cool
he
as
walked
shit.
right off IMDb
Yeah.
homepage. And it was, Scott and I were talking about after the screening. We were like both. Scott was saying like, I was really worried, a little bit because he stammered a little bit at first because we're selfish and we're like, is he going to be able to make more? And he was kind of like doing that thing that I do a lot, that Bryan, we're trying to look for a word, and then he found the word, and then he kept going, and he was sharp as fuck. Yeah, we're good.
He's not out there doing my eyes, the Oppenheimer.
My eyes, Furiosa.
Here's my biggest concern, and then we'll get off on Furiosa, I guess. I am really
Do we
concerned
have
about
to?
this, but I guess it's not going to happen because
Do we have to get off?
Garfield took care of this. My concern. I'm worried about 10 years from now. George has hung it up, and some other schmuck has taken over the reins of the Mad Max. Kind of what we're seeing with Star Wars. Sort of
yeah.
stuff. And the universe continues to expand, but it's just like a shell of what it used to be. You know what I mean?
I don't know if, to echo Soderbergh, I don't know if anyone else could do this.
It's funny because that made me think of something else while I was watching it, which is James fucking Cameron, one of our greatest filmmakers of the last whatever years, is going to finish out his life making Avatar movies.
Making cartoons. Yeah.
And you'd think if with
what
them
could
being
he be doing?
like a singular vision, they should be as good as this, since he gets to do whatever he wants to do.
Because when guys get old, whether it's Scorsese, Spielberg, or James Cameron, they don't go the way of George Miller. They go a very softer route.
He's an outlier for sure. And you could see he's starting to slow down. And he was talking in one of the interviews I was hearing that his mom saw Happy Feet and was going, "Oh, I'm thinking you're kind of slowing down." And then she saw Fury Road. She's like, "Okay, son, I don't know what's going on in your brain." Yeah.
How old is she?
Oh, yeah, I know. If that's a good
She must
point.
be 100.
She must be pushing 100. Oh, he's got good genes. That's good. That's good for all of us.
Oh, he's gonna outlive me.
A couple things I learned. They wrote Furiosa, at least the treatment. I believe that he said they wrote the entire thing before Fury Road. Okay, so they knew where it was going, and they had a good idea of what.
Sure.
I don't know if I believe that in seeing the two.
I could see maybe a conceptual sketch.
I thought that was true because I thought hearing that he split it after I became.
Think that they'd be able to put in
Fury
more
Road.
little Easter eggs, or they do mention the bullet.
But I don't know if he thought he'd
Road.
be able to do it anymore.
Oh, I think there's a lot of
Where's Scrotus?
tissue.
Where the fuck is Scrotus?
That is odd. He must have a separate fate that didn't get portrayed.
And then the other thing that they were talking about making Furiosa into a anime.
I can see it being a TV show. You know what I mean? It's like a HBO Max show or something. But
no. You don't animate this. No. That's the glory of this. I mean, it would be great as an anime, and I would probably watch it. But the fact that they're actually doing it, and you can tell who's who, where's what, and that motorcycle. There probably wasn't a real body on that motorcycle when it went under the wheels, but something went under those wheels, and that actually happened. And I just saw that, and it's not twisted fucking metal shooting large cannons, and you can't even tell who's fighting who because it's all one giant globby cartoon.
And the sound design.
Oh my god.
God damn it.
Can we wrap this fucker up? Because I would
thunder
like to go see
bite.
it. I want to go see it again.
I hear the thunder
that should
bike.
be our watch along this month.
Can you hear the thunder bike?
You and I should sneak a camera.
I thought you crippled it. I did cripple it. What's that, Barbara?
We should sneak a camera into the theater.
Fuck this. I'm leaving. I am going to the
We
theater.
should what?
We should sneak a camera into the theater and do a watch along.
It sounds illegal and wrong.
Punk rock.
Worth it.
Punk. This is the closest thing to a real punk rock, but this movie is fucking punk rock.
Metal.
It is. It's fucking punk rock metal. It really is.
It is.
Don't confuse punk rock and metal, please, Brian. They're very different things.
I have a similar ethos.
I need to see this again immediately.
Yeah, do it. Go see it again. Not since Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I guess Dinner in America have I been this jacked.
I almost stood up at certain scenes.
Did you like Once Upon a Time initially? I forget if you came around.
I wasn't excited about it coming out, and the trailers weren't doing much for me. But then when I saw it in the theater, I'm like, oh my god, my life is a little different now. My life has changed for sure, for the better. Yeah.
I almost audibly reacted to something in this movie.
Can you say the
Just
spoiler?
unconsciously. I could say it for the spoiler.
Yeah, let's do that spoiler.
Hey, let me finish it up by asking you this. This or Civil War?
Oh, this.
Yeah.
What?
Really?
Why would you?
No.
Have you been watching me sweat and scream and spit and freak the fuck out, Brian? I love Civil War. Civil War is a feat, but it's not this, Brian. What are you doing?
They're pretty close.
That's like Claudia Schiffer or Anna Kournikova. It's like
Very few people could make Civil War. No one could make Furiosa.
Claudia, 100%.
I don't know.
Dude, Kournikova is great, but it's because she played tennis.
But it's the whole package.
I'm
No,
not like,
tennis
I need
player.
to see tennis. Okay. I don't know why I'm demeaning women and talking about them as though they're like movies.
Civil War's a prequel to Furiosa.
Wow.
It kind of is, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of okay with that.
Maybe.
That would be combine them.
Because there really is no place where we see where the bomb is actually dropped.
That's why Morton Joe has all the breathing shit because he got shot.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, spoiler.
All right, let's move on. Happy Feet. Are we doing Happy
We
Feet?
got to take a break.
I guess we'll take a break.
Imagine the bends we're going to talk about Happy Feet next.
Well, we would have been doing Alice in Cities if I hadn't stepped in.
My God.
Alice in the Cities.
All right, we're going from Furiosa to Happy Feet.
Hey, it's the same man.
After
behind
this.
On the outside of the door is the blunt sound of my knuckles.
Welcome back. Time to talk a little George Miller of some more. Talk about Happy Feet. Happy Feet 2006 film directed by George Miller, starring the voice talent of Elijah Wood, Robin Williams, Brittany Murphy, Hugh Jackman, Nicole Kidman. Hugo Weaving also makes an appearance in this film.
So he was thinking about making Furiosa look like Happy Feet. Imagine that. Like using the same technology.
With the anime.
Either like anime or like computer-generated animation. Like
76% Rotten Tomatoes. Not a great sign for a animated film. 76%. You can rental this. You can rent this. Excuse me. This was the Oscar winner for Best Animated Feature, which is kind of an odd choice until I realized it was up against Cars and Monster House. Really benefited from
That's a light year.
Monster House is good. Monster House is good.
What the fuck is Monster?
It's a good movie.
Done.
All right, so Happy Feet.
I mean, what needs to be said of Happy Feet? It's a pleasant family film.
It's more than that.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it absolutely is. There's a whole lot more. Okay, wrong, Brian. It's way worse than that, and it's way better than that.
Okay.
So it starts off, the first 10 minutes of this movie, I'm like, I don't know if I can sit here and watch this entire fucking movie. She comes out singing like Destiny's Child or something. No, like it's.
She was singing.
You should know all of the music that.
Fuck, what was it?
It's nothing but like the kind of music you might hear at a supermarket.
Actually, the one thing I thought I liked more than average about this movie was the music. There were a few songs that were not obvious. There were a little bit deeper cuts.
Really?
A little bit.
I knew every single one, so what's that tell you?
They're known, but they're not like the songs you hear on the radio all the time.
So in this world, in this Antarctica world where the emperor penguins all hang out at the bottom of the planet, the story is this, that the only way that they can find a mate is that they got that the female has to react to the male song, vice versa.
They have like a love song or
and then they go back and forth. Yeah, because at first like she's reacting to Elvis, played Memphis is his name, played by Mutton Chops.
Jackman.
Hugh Jackman.
He's effectively a Elvis penguin.
And it bugs. It's my least favorite thing in cartoons when they take pop culture and they put them on animals.
That was annoying.
I fucking
the
hate
penguin
it.
had a full on like, hey, let me tell you how it's going to be.
And he even did like the E pose.
Yeah,
I hate this.
Fuck, that sounds terrible.
I can't watch this movie.
It was a little bit douche chills.
And then they have their special penguin who is essentially like almost like an autistic type, like a proxy for like an outlier. Like
their son.
Yeah, like some kind of somewhat intellectually developmentally delayed because he can't do what they can do, but he does tap dance instead, which was interesting. And then at times I'm like, oh, I love them. Mumbles, the little penguin's name, right? Who was also delayed to the point that all the other penguins around him, his same party, his same peers, they all grow up and they become the emperor penguins. The baby penguins are gray and fluffy, and then they become like the big like statuesque penguin, you know. And he never does. Like he's delayed, right?
It's effectively Rudolph.
It is very Rudolph. Yes, it is it's Rudolph with songs.
It's a story, oldest time.
So I'm going back and forth where
it's Rudolph a song.
I'm like this. Well, Rudolph has songs, I guess, but not like
pop songs.
Not like known pop songs. So I'm going back and forth where I'm like, this is kind of elevated, and I kind of really like this, and actually I like these two penguins together. And there's like some inappropriate like stuff that there's like inappropriate sexual positions.
When they meet up with the other penguins, the sort of like the Robin Williams penguins.
We'll get there.
The movie.
Did you? So he has got
take some scatological terms.
Mumble's got a crush on Gloria, and he's trying to catch her a fish and impress her by catching a fish. And somehow Mumble's very fast and he's good. He's adept at getting the fish. Did you catch the scene where he pops out of the water and then does the awkward fall clumsy thing on top of Gloria, and they go through all of the motions. He's on top of her missionary. Then he's 69ing with her for a moment. Then he's doggy styling her for a second. And I'm like, how is this a child's movie? What is this scene that I'm looking at?
Is this streaming?
I did not catch that.
I don't know if like they have it like looking like she's just straight up giving him oral, but I guess with the 69, it's real quick.
This is where Brian would hold his mic to the keyboard.
So that's like that's happening.
I've done that been a while.
And then we get to the Robin Williams where Robin Williams plays two roles
at least.
He's playing
he's doing his character from like the bird. No,
he's doing
not the birdcage. The fire forgot. Anyway, go ahead.
Fisher King.
No, it's how dare you?
The where they dress up like women. What's it called?
Doubtfire.
No,
that's the birdcage.
No. That's Birdcage. It's Birdcage.
But he's not doing that character. He's doing like a swishy, like Cuban character.
He's doing a Hispanic
character,
just like hey, I'm going to do a Hispanic character for this whole entire role.
That's
and then he's doing
penguin in Antarctica.
And then a black mystic penguin with dreadlocks is his other main role, where that was...
It feels very 2006.
It did. It was awkward, and it kind of just felt weird.
There are some archetypes.
But yeah, not since Magnolia have I've vacillated back and forth so much, where like, this is like a really good elevated kids movie. This is making me want to vomit and be embarrassed to be a human being, because human beings made this. And it was back and forth.
Yeah. Where did you land?
And it felt like Footloose at times, too. It's a kid's book. It would have been better as a kid's book, I think. I landed on wishing I had not seen it.
Yeah, I didn't love this movie. I think it's a fine, passable kids movie. It's not, listen, via Tessa, I have seen some fucking terrible kids
I
films,
bet.
so this is okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I walked out of the room.
Did the children enjoy this?
Atticus watched the first 2 acts, and then it was bedtime, and he never asked about it again.
I was going to say, it's not come up since.
Yeah.
I've been sitting on this for a couple of weeks.
It has one of the main elements is that of this movie is that thing that I just cannot stand, where it's like, okay, we're going to do a musical number that everyone in the audience knows now, and it's going to be crazy fun animals doing it, and I just can't stand that.
Yeah.
Can't stand it.
I've seen worse versions of that, so I was more forgiving, but I understand what you're saying.
Some of the animation was kind of interesting. When he gets in captivity, we didn't get to the best parts. Like he's in captivity, and he's trying to.
He gets tagged.
His whole, they never paid off either. We never saw those guys again. The gulls that come to eat the baby penguins. I thought for sure they'd
They
show
came
up.
back.
Did they? I don't remember.
I think that they had more than one scene.
Briefly. Okay. He's trying, his whole thing is he's trying.
Yeah, he falls in a crevasse at first, and they try to get at him, and they come back later. It's not important. They're a huge part of the story.
It's the story is trying to like teach young children essentially about the problems with depleting the oceans of fish, and
He's got a real conservationism message.
yeah, and his whole thing is like, and it's got like a religious vibe to it as well, with the old
The mystic.
like the old guard saying like, we must pray to the gods to like give us the new fish, and he's like, no, I'm going to the source. Like these aliens apparently are out there eating all our fish, the humans, because every now and again they see like a human like relic, like a digger or an excavator, like was fell during an avalanche
or something.
So he's trying to find the humans, and everyone else is terrified of like these aliens who are saying that they don't even exist. And all of that was actually quite interesting and good. But then they break into song, and I want to kill myself. It was just awful.
Yeah, the music interludes were honestly unnecessary. Like they didn't need any of that.
It was like somebody said, "Hey, what if penguins mated by singing cool pop songs? Wouldn't that be a cool hook?"
That's the underlying through line.
And it could have been maybe like 2 minutes spread throughout the movie, but they really leaned on that. There was full scenes where it was just like the entire fucking songs were sung and background singers, and I'm like,
That's how you fall in love.
I don't want it. Oh. Then he goes and he finds like a different race of penguins. They're like the Argentinian penguins, and
that's Robin Williams.
And that's another Robin Williams doing another accent. Yeah.
I guess they dance differently.
They did. They liked him. Yes, he was like part of their crew. He wasn't an outcast when he was with them. Yeah.
Yeah, because he was still at the end of the day he was an emperor penguin amongst these other pygmies or whatever.
There was some bones there. There
were some moments, and it's not a waste of your time. But this is not a movie I would seek out without kids. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't need to see this.
There are certain animated films where it's like, dude, this is a great movie, regardless if you have kids or not. This is best seen with the kids. I don't think you should waste your time by yourself.
All right. I agree.
All right. I'm glad we agree.
Does it tell me that Furiosa is higher than this on Rotten Tomatoes?
Oh, there's going to be. Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is 76%.
Okay.
Furiosa, this just in. Cracked 90.
Oh, it did?
Hey.
I wonder what's going on with like what's going on? How did people not go see this movie this weekend?
I don't know.
How?
Maybe we weren't loud enough about it.
I was texting Gio this. How? What is that?
Me.
No. How did the Fast and Furious fucks
I start to touch things.
I don't touch things.
not run out and see this?
Yeah,
if you like Fast and Furious, why would you not see this?
There's very little mention of family.
And there's no Corona.
This
This had a worse. Oh, Gio sent me the most upsetting headline of all the things that this is not held up to.
Okay.
In terms of an opening, one of which was, so this had a worse opening weekend, and granted, this will be comparing it to pre-pandemic movies. Furiosa is set to open lower than X-Men: Dark Phoenix.
Oh Jesus.
John Carter.
Oh my God.
Tomorrowland.
Oh, jeez.
Terminator Dark Fate.
I saw Tomorrowland opening night.
Why would you do that? Why?
Because we were in Austin and it was at the Draft House.
And Morbius.
Wow.
Worse than
And Morbius was a
Morbius.
How are they doing that? There's no way that Morbius made more money because it was a February release, and I remember it was pretty middling.
Yeah.
It's just whatever matrix they're
That is
using
rough.
to crunch those numbers. That can't. There's no way.
Opening weekend, though, he said, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
there's no way that it made less money, like actual take at the box office Memorial Day weekend than Morbius did in like some random February weekend. That just can't be.
I don't get what.
Can you look that up while we talk about the next movie?
Yeah, go to
I
Box
don't even know what I
Office
was.
Mojo.
Box Office Mojo.
Yeah, because that's just not
Or
possible.
just Google Morbius opening weekend.
Yeah.
Things that never been Googled before.
All right, what's the next one? Are we doing Yuma?
We got lots to talk about. We're already an hour into this episode almost, and we got films. Let me talk briefly. I don't even want to talk briefly.
I want to talk about the contestant, but that's going to have to get pushed next week
I
as
know.
well.
I enjoyed the contestant.
Sorry, we should have just, the entire episode to the Mad Max world because it is glorious, Brian, and we need to spend more time.
You're gonna be mad.
What? Are you serious?
Domestic opening for Morbius 2022. 39 million.
Get the fuck out of here.
Domestic opening for Furiosa. 26 million.
That's
And then
fucking
when does it say the date of?
Well, Morbius
Morbius was
competing
March
against
30th.
Garfield.
It was March 30th. I thought it was February.
March 30th.
I was wrong.
It wasn't competing against Garfield.
Is that in Garfield's just crushing, or is it on par?
I don't want to break my computer.
I actually have no idea if it.
What's happening? I don't get it. I really don't understand. Is it because it's a female lead, like the bros that would normally respond to this movie, like "fuck that, Max isn't even in it, bro"?
It's the most
that what's
broy
happening?
movie ever. Like I can't believe that a female lead.
The bros taking on the chin.
It does look like it's edged out Garfield.
Oh,
which is
silver
good.
lining. Hey, did we talk Yuma?
It's not even competing with Garfield because it's not like you're going Furiosa or Garfield. Like the parents are taking their kids
Exactly.
to Garfield, and Furiosa's like
Yeah,
for a different.
and no one's choosing.
It's not competing.
That's the fact
directly.
that people are choosing to not go to the movie.
choosing to stay home and play the video game.
But then Apes, which deservedly so, got way more play and was kind of doing surprisingly well, all things considered. What
a world.
Who's seeing Apes and not this? I would think way more people are like, fuck talking
And
apes.
people
I'm not
love
seeing that.
action movies, right? They love them.
This is 10 times the movie Apes. I know you guys liked Apes.
No, Apes-
Oh, this is far better than Apes.
Scar King in this though makes it a 6-star movie.
Oh yeah.
Not Scar
Scar
King.
King.
Not Scar King. That's from Godzilla.
Proximus.
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 Proximus in this movie.
If
he
you
shows up
put
somehow-
Proximus in charge of the bullet farm,
if
that's
he's
the
in
only
charge,
way.
he's in charge of the bullet farm, or
Gas
If it's a
tank.
Morton Joe, Dementis, and then Proximus is at the bullet farm, this is a
or
12
he's one of the
star.
brothers. He's just like,
But I like him having his own kingdom.
yeah, I like it too.
That's a 12
He
star.
just comes out of the nuclear ashes.
He could still be in a fucked up ship.
That's true.
They
We
could
don't know
find
what
him
this,
at the coast.
what this abomination is. It happened from the Fallout, we
It would
guess.
actually make sense.
Half human, half ape.
What is this doof warrior? Doof
Are there
warrior.
more of those?
More of
He would be in heaven at the bullet farm. Can you imagine?
every-
He's
oh,
like,
yeah.
there are more of those.
But you make them.
That's what he evolves
It's
into.
a factory.
They grow out of the ground. Is that right?
Oh, you know what else I kept laughing about all week is Avery talking about how am I supposed to feel during the Coca-Cola
worst.
AMC fucking ad. Like, how am I supposed to feel when I'm watching this? Like, I don't know the answer. It's one of the greatest questions ever
it's
posited on the
horrible.
show.
Well, I'm glad you saw New Nicole.
I did
I
see
have not
the
seen
new-
the new Nicole. Oh God, I'm excited.
There
for
was
the new Nicole.
audible gasps in the crowd.
We are so conditioned for the same shit that we get excited about tiny little nuances.
Oh yeah, and I brought back my bit, and it crushed.
What's your bit?
Right when the Nicole Kidman thing ends and the crowd gets quiet, as loud as I can, I just scream, "Woo!" Just scream like top of my lungs, and it crushes every time.
How am I supposed to feel?
It's a good bit.
Avery gets his best laughs.
When he's breaking the fourth
In the
wall
theater.
and looking directly at me as he's driving this bullshit car down the road. And then she looks over and winks and it makes the ding. Like, how am I supposed to be feeling? Like, what do they want from me? Because I feel awful, but I don't know how I'm supposed to feel. How are we supposed to
Who
feel?
was it for? What world was it made for? Not the wasteland.
Who said yes? People are gonna like that too.
This will connect. This will connect.
They focus tested that. And that version got the highest score.
It's way worse. It's way worse than anything Nicole's put us through.
I need
way
to see
worse.
the notes of what people were saying for the feedback.
Let's see what it looked like before they fixed it.
What's the rejected version?
It's probably good.
It's probably better. Yeah, it's
It
probably a
probably
lot better.
has some grit and some balls.
It's like when Skinner ordered the painting, you know what I mean, from Michael Keaton's character in The Simpsons, and it burned away, and it's like, oh, that was a good one.
I kind of remember.
Remember he painted like a badass version, and Skinner was like, no, paint this, and it was like unicorns and shit, and they're like, what is that? And it burned away, and it's like, oh, the good one.
I don't remember that. I'm sorry, Brian.
Come on.
Brian, I'm sorry. Hey,
Find
one more thing about the Mad Max universe, all right? What he's really revealed to all of us.
We're over it.
And we got a little bit taste of it with Fury Road, but with this one, like, he really just opens the doors. He's like, yes, this is Idiocracy meets Mad Max. Like, it is like just the idiotic evolution of humanity.
That's right.
And that's one of the things that I love about
Everyone's stupid in that world.
because they don't have the education, but they are very well educated in what matters and what keeps them alive, right? There's also some Firefly in here as well. But like they put all of their energy and their know-how into the rigs. And,
and the history man's just telling him the legend of the silver motorcycle in front of him and the way it's created, right when you first see Dementus.
when we first see him, like he's getting the information of the pistons and whatnot. But it really is like, and it's somewhat realistic. It's rooted in enough reality that I can buy in. You know what I mean?
Meaning what?
I mean, I think that maybe the tanker looks a little more perfect than they'd be able to muster. You know?
Oh, I see.
And the tires, I don't know if they'd be able to quite do them, but a lot of the time I'm like, where do they? We just saw a movie recently. I'm like, well, where do they get all this stuff, and where do they get that? Remember, it was bugging me.
Yeah.
And not with this one. Like with the bullet farm, and it's as rudimentary and as simple as it is. Like there's enough
Everything
there for me to
adds
buy.
Yeah.
In. Yeah. Okay. Idiocracy. They really are foolish, especially with the two
Scrotus
sons. Okay.
Scrotus and Rictus.
What are we talking, Yuma?
Yuma.
This is your dream week. Jim Cummings in a new Mad Max.
It's a good week.
About that.
It's a good week.
Last Stop in Yuma County is a 2024 film written and directed by Francis Galupi. I believe it's his directorial debut, starring Jocelyn Donahue, Jim Cummings, Richard Brake, Nicholas Logan, Faison Love, Gene Jones. Is that right? Gene Jones? Yes, Robin Bartlett, Connor Paolo, and Michael Abbott Jr. are in this film. 97% of Rotten Tomatoes. Higher than Mad Max. You can rent this.
Same as Fury Road. Tied with Fury Road.
That's true. We had a listener review this in our Fanfliction, and they said it was Tarantino-esque. They also mentioned
Wes Anderson.
Wes Anderson, but I did not see. We don't see eye to eye on that, but it's got a very heavy Tarantino influence. Also about Coen Brothers, and this is a very simple, small story, limited storytelling.
Almost a bottle film, right?
Takes place in one setting, basically, maybe one extended setting.
Almost real time too.
Good point. Mm-hmm. And it is the aftermath of a bank robbery gone awry, perhaps, at a roadside diner / gas station in the middle of nowhere, Yuma County. I'm getting the impression because of the title. And the things, one of the things I liked it a lot. One of the things I liked about it was every decision or every action made by a character made sense. Even if it wasn't the best decision or the smartest, it made sense. Nothing felt, to me, like driven by the plot. It was all like, yeah, that makes sense. I'm buying it.
I felt that way until the very end. I think there's characters that make decisions in the last 10 minutes that I don't know if I fully buy, where I don't know if a certain character would make the turn to make certain decisions as much as they did without a little more setup to suggest that the character was like that.
I know I do see. I will meet you halfway and say yes. Maybe a little bit more setup for that character would have been appropriate, because you did get a little impression that this character was in financial straits. You know what I mean? Like trying to make it to the daughter's birthday.
Yeah.
Traveling salesperson, whatever. That said, again, while I didn't think every decision was smart, I was at least like, okay, in a Coen Brothers kind of way, like a William H. Macy in Fargo, this character is doing dumb things, but it's what that character would do in that situation. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
one action beat Gath the other.
They were believably stupid, and as the dominoes fell.
It was believably stupid. It wasn't like, oh, come on. It was more like,
and
well, all right, that's dumb. Let's see how it plays out.
The story was simple enough and took that path that they didn't have to have you jump to various outlandish things, and it was very rooted in
very high concept where just everyone is out of gas.
And what you're responding to, Avery, towards the end, I bought it. I would have liked a little bit more to see shades of that, but I think that would have changed the entire tone and your idea of the characters as a whole. But yeah, I really like this movie. It's almost Hitchcockian at time. You know what it really felt like as a John Dahl movie from way back when John Dahl used to make these really cool movies. The Last Seduction was one of them. Oh, wow. What else did he make? He's been stolen by TV. He makes nothing but TV now. But Peter Berg was in The Last Seduction, which was really great. What was the other? Hold on, let me look it up real quick because there were
a lot of humor in this too.
Yeah, same with these John Dahl movies.
Kind of subtle humor. I appreciated
some gallows humor, some overt humor.
Oh, he did Rounders. He did Joyride. Unforgettable.
A lot of good dumb characters.
Red Rock West. Fuck to the yes with the Red Rock West. I haven't thought of that movie in years, but same kind of hard boiled.
If I have a quibble, it's that there were. Okay, I guess it's just part and parcel with a 90-minute film like this, but
tight narrative.
Some of the characters are a little tropey. You know what I mean?
The bad guys.
Even the dipshit sheriff's assistant or deputy or whatever it was like. All right, we've seen that character. That's right out of No Country for Old Men.
But also to me, that felt. That's kind of what the Coen brothers do.
I agree.
And I forgave it.
It was a minor quibble. I enjoyed this very much.
The bird. What do we... Oh, we didn't talk about the lizard in Furiosa. The lizard came back.
He did.
The bad CGI lizard came back, and I'm like, oh, here we go. He just got crushed. You know what that means? That's George Miller just tipping his hat saying, fuck you, CGI. We're doing the real thing.
What's the bird, though?
The bird opens up the movie in Yuma.
Oh, yes.
And there's a bird sitting there on the box at the gas station, and it must have been a CGI bird, but I don't know. It looks pretty real. Might have been a really well-trained bird.
For a bird wrangler.
And Cummings, that's when he first comes in. It's our introduction to him, and he kind of takes a look at the bird as it flies away, and then what was that saying? I don't know. It was obviously put there for a reason.
It's there at the end too.
The bird's there at the end. Huh? Yeah. Maybe it's just a fun little cute touch. I don't know.
Could be, or it could be like a what could be. You know what I mean? This bird is living its own life, and you could be too. If you
look at these idiots who are preying on each other. But yeah,
or maybe it's the bird can leave at any time. These people are bound.
They're trapped to the gas,
to the gasoline.
Right.
Oh,
the gasoline
connected to you know what? Furiosa.
That's a prequel.
It's all about the gas.
Die victorious on the Fury Road.
This movie was very enjoyable and went down pretty smooth. I liked all the characters. I liked the development for the most part, and it was just a 90-minute little lean, tight narrative, as you would say, Brian.
This is a good recommendation. Like you and I can recommend Furiosa, but I feel like our audience is either in or not in for some reason. But this is a movie we can sort of say to people, hey, you might not have heard about this. If you had, we can recommend this.
And we get to see more Jim Cummings, too, which is always a good thing.
Yeah,
I love that Jim Cummings. Yeah, he plays such a,
it's always a similar archetype.
Weaselly. No, I would say he's got range.
More in terms of him being maybe not so great single dad. He's quite often that.
He's good at that. He's very good at that. But he's just kind of unsure and hesitant. He's got that comedic bone at where he could be playing a leading man. He could play it straight, I think, and kind of button it up a little bit and be more like a John Hamme type.
But his character to me was the most Coen-esque, which is I feel like we're seeing a character on the downside of life, you know what I mean? Or it's like he's been beaten down, he's in a certain position in a rut, and this is where his life's going.
Yeah.
And it's got a bit of a gallows humor to his character.
A bit, yeah, for sure. And there's some good MacGuffins in here too, with the knives and what I liked it. I liked it quite a bit.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Chekhov's knives.
Yeah.
A lot of good misdirects.
I had a Chekhov.
I never knew where this was going.
Actually, the knife gets used.
I had a Chekhov knife in Gruber's.
So does that mean it's not used?
I did.
Doesn't it mean it has to get used?
I realized now that it got used.
What it did in Gruber's. Yeah, it means you have to use it, right?
It's not referring to a gun that's not used, right?
Yeah, exactly. Chekhov's gun is you see the gun and must come in.
It may or may not have been used because people haven't seen this movie. So maybe you're right, maybe I'm right. Okay, why don't we just leave it at that? I know who's right. And
Chekhov's spy.
Chekhov's pie. Chekhov's
Chekhov's
AC.
coffee.
The AC cranking on and off.
That's right.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to the list, huh?
Or the spoilers.
We got a lot. We
And
got
spoilers
a lot to talk
too. We'll do spoilers after once we're boozed up a little bit. We're gonna have a little booze here.
about. Oh, that's about.
I might never leave Brian's house.
Whiskey, thanks to Better Bryan, we're finally cracking. He sent this like 2 months ago. We're finally getting to it.
It's aged.
It has aged. Yeah.
Right.
We got beers. We got whiskey. Let's go.
Think about the whiskey and.
I just said let's go, and I was serious. I don't like that.
Think about
It's
the
creeping in.
aged bourbon and whiskey in the Mad Max world.
Yeah, they don't really. Oh, we didn't even talk about.
Brian would be the fucking gas town.
We didn't even talk about the
That would be Brian.
The little-
He'd be swirling up there.
little dude. We didn't talk about the little It's Alive dude. That was heartbreaking. This movie. Okay, take the music down. Another realization I had, and I should have written some of this shit down. I was just thinking.
I let the record reflect. I suggested throwing to spoilers. Anderson said wait.
But I just want to say another thing that I'm responding to with Furiosa in particular, more so than Fury Road, even though I love fucking Fury Road and I probably like it like a touch more. But Furiosa has an element of every single genre I can think of, I think, done well in one fucking movie, right?
Yeah.
There's even a little bit of romance in there.
Oh, there's a
little bit of rom-com.
Yeah.
Yeah. Without the weighing it down with like all the bullshit that you
And it's
don't
believable,
need to see.
and it's
believable.
earned.
You buy it. But there's obviously
And you give a shit.
You got the action. You got the fucking horror for sure, right? You got the comedy. You got the pathos. Like I felt sad. Like I felt sympathy for a little It's Alive dude. Like I really felt bad for that dude.
You felt scared?
Very scared. But that's with the horror.
Oh, the horror, yeah.
Is there a genre that they don't? I guess maybe
There's
like
some
noir. It's not really very noir.
There's some slapstick in there.
A lot of slapstick. Yeah, there's a lot of slapstick in there. I mean, every time a motorcycle goes underneath the, dude, just the fucking horn.
Men bouncing off the wheels.
The truck horn. You knew like the shit was. Oh my god, that horn was like perfectly created.
If we had top 5 movie sounds, that's up there for me.
Does that bring you back around and calling the truck horn sound? Because you hate that was not.
Oh, it's a completely different. No, it's not that stock horn, Brian. Can you imagine if you used that instead? Oh god, if someone like took that clip and then dubbed it with that horrible stock. That truck sound, we heard it for like maybe a decade and a half, and now it's just gone. Thank God they finally stopped using that library. But I don't know if is there a genre that help me out, guys? Like maybe leave it.
I appreciate the restraint on no Wilhelm screams.
It could have been in there. It's a loud movie.
It's true. I'll go back and listen.
I feel like the Wilhelm screams finally kind of dying out a little bit. I think the more serious guys are like, let's leave that for the amateurs that still think it's funny. That's what I think.
But then again, George Miller from that old school.
No, he doesn't have time. I don't know if there's any Wilhelm screams in any of the shit. I just watched all of them and I didn't hear one.
No, it would have stood out.
Yeah. It's in Star Wars. It's all over the place.
Yeah, it's in many Star Wars films.
All right, let's. People go ham with the goddamn Wilhelm. Let's relax with the Wilhelm.
I don't like it.
Yeah. All right. Is there a genre other than noir? Is there another genre? That I'm missing?
Documentary.
It feels like Idiocracy, which is a documentary.
It kind of feels like a documentary where they're talking about the wars, the 40
it
days
did,
war.
with the VO.
Adult pornography.
Does not feel. Yeah, there's no adult pornography. There's more pornography actually in Happy Feet.
There's nipples that get ripped off.
Have you ever noticed that the people eater?
It is lascivious.
Every time the people eater's talking, he's pinching his nipple.
Yeah.
Every time. Those things must be raw at the end of the day. Like all the takes that he's doing.
Yeah. Plus the
He likes it.
The piercing.
All right.
You must not become addicted to water.
All right. Let's go.
Coming up
The
next.
weakest of the three warlords. The weakest is probably the Bullet Farmer.
Bullet Farmer.
I want more from the
He's
Bullet
better
Farmer.
in
though.
Fury Road.
He was better.
Let
'Cause
them
he-
sing the symphony.
He had a much better war rig too. He had like that tank that he's driving.
Oh, it's
but it was like
amazing.
it was like
covered
some
in
kind
bullets and incredible. He gets short shrifted in this one.
That idiot Bullet Farmer. You know what they're doing too, and I was wondering this. Like now that it's getting this ass
Double
kicked,
ration.
they were dropping some new TV spots, like little 15-second TV spots where they're really shining a light on the humor. Like they got that line where he's calling the rectus and scrotus like genetic jokes or whatever. Like
Oh,
that
yeah,
line
genetic
is.
mistake or
Yeah.
whatever.
They have that like
Genetic
in this little
mistake.
15-second TV spot that was like running during like a sports game or something. I'm like, maybe they're trying to get the Thor humorists to come over and see. Maybe that's it too. People don't realize it's Chris Hemsworth.
Oh,
You
yeah,
are
but
speaking to
I can see
Dementus.
that. I can see that.
Yeah.
He looks very different. Just the nose.
Just the nose will do that. Yeah, I thought honestly when I first saw the first couple of trailers, I'm like, I'm getting my Hemsworths mixed up because that's not the Thor Hemsworth. That's one of his brothers.
Or whatever
Yeah.
the was.
And the moderator that came out, he said, because most of the people that are at those screenings, they don't go see regular movies in the theaters, so they don't see trailers at all. And I know that Scott, who I went with, he hadn't seen a trailer for it. And the moderator, I got the sense that he knew very little, because he said that he was watching the movie and it was like the 4th or 5th scene, and he's like, I thought Chris Hemsworth was supposed to be in this. When is he showing up? That's what he said.
Didn't realize.
And I think he was telling the truth. All right, let's go.
Yeah, coming up next, we'll count down the top 5 quitting scenes after this. Hey, we're back. I got bad news for y'all. Anderson has opened his drinks. He's playing bartender tonight as we get ready for top 5 quitting scenes. Ironic. Is there any clever picks like someone quitting? I almost had Mark Redden quitting heroin.
So, yeah, well, while talking about it, Brian, he confirmed, which was a word that I was looking for earlier in the show. That's the kind of day I'm having.
Corroborated.
Am I corroborated?
I forgot what street I lived on earlier today.
Well, you do a lot of moving. You are a bit of a vagabond.
That's true.
Yeah, he confirmed that he's down, and his list consists of actual just quitting. So it's not just quitting your job; it's quitting other things as well. So, I have a few of those as well. Maybe a controversial pick, maybe a callous and insensitive pick, some might say.
Do you want to review our list that we did just in 2018?
No, I'm doing it the right way again, because that's how I do it every time we do this. I'm
you're going to
adding,
incorporate the list.
Yeah, because that's so. So last time we did this in 2018, that was for listener Alex Simpson, who had us do
Oh,
quitting.
really?
And we paired it with firing scenes the week before. We did firing scenes, and then we did quitting scenes, and I couldn't find my list anywhere. So to make sure that I didn't have any crossover on my own list, which would be a very bad look, I went back and listened to spot check that one and listened around. And Logan getting a lot of airtime on that episode.
Oh, rough.
He had just gotten married, and we were both arguing as to when he met his wife, because we were gambling on what year the first song the first dance, what year the song was released.
Oh, jeez.
That was what we gambled on.
That's really, that's very.
And you were at the wedding, and I was not at the wedding.
I was there.
Yeah, and I was not, and we didn't get into why I wasn't. A lot of jokes were being made. Obviously, I couldn't make it for whatever reason.
Why
I think I was out of town.
Why is that obvious?
Why was it obvious that I was invited?
Yeah.
Because why wouldn't I be invited? I mean, that'd be very odd. It's not every day that like your co-host doesn't invite you to their own wedding.
Yeah.
It does happen with you.
Now that I think about it, absurd.
All right, so we're drinking. We're drinking booze.
Brian didn't
He didn't invite me to his own fucking wedding. How brutal is that?
I stand by that.
Do you? Yeah.
It's a small wedding.
How's Corolla doing? How's your pal?
Oh, good. He was there.
Yeah. How's he doing? When's the last time you chatted with your buddy?
Literally this morning.
Why? What? Seriously?
Yeah.
For the first time in months. Look at how proud and excited he is. You were a bit crestfallen and shocked somehow that you and Corolla didn't continue your correspondence.
What are you talking about?
Once you were let go.
Oh, stop it! I texted him happy birthday, and he said new phone notice.
Did you really text him happy
Of course.
birthday? Hey, you're like an ex-girlfriend.
He's my good friend.
I finally have a reason to text him.
No.
I finally have a reason to make contact.
Not true.
Brian,
He's my good friend.
let go, buddy.
He's my wedding guest.
It's kind of perfect that we're doing top 5 quitting scenes.
I should
today.
quit the. No,
Quit hoping that you and Corolla are going to ever have a
We've been
relationship.
through a lot together.
You and Corolla have no relationship. You have none.
It's not what
It's over.
That's not what his text would indicate.
All right, I'm pouring booze.
Yeah, tell me what we have.
All right. Avery, can you grab that piece of paper?
Yes, I can.
So I don't get scolded again for getting up, because apparently I'm not allowed to get up once the show begins. So this is tore it by mistake last week. Thank you. All right, so we're drinking the last and final. What do you call these? Little
Taster.
tasters. That
Sampler.
Better Bryan McCulley has sent us. And
Pass it over, bitch.
it's I think tincture is the thing that you drop.
Tincture is a drop.
I'm still going to call it a tincture.
dropper.
Let me make sure that I get
You've
enough.
taken much of the whiskey.
Yes, I have.
That
All right,
is-
this is HW High West Double Rye Store Pick. Again, sorry. This is why I should not read things. Store picked, aged in Amontillado casks. 49.6.
I don't even know what that is.
All right, I don't know why you would say it that way. Do you hear the
Ooh, it
smugness?
smells sweet.
Do you hear the smugness in your voice?
If I didn't know better, I think this was brandy.
Amontillado, and Brian responds with, "Even I don't know what that is."
Sure.
Even I don't know.
Okay, sorry. This is whiskey. This is bourbon, yeah?
It just says it says High West Double Rye.
Oh, that's rye.
Stop trying to act.
I know what rye is.
Stop it. We all know what rye is.
He says after he was just wrong. It's bourbon.
We enjoy the.
Yeah. Well, bourbon is very simple.
We all enjoy the bread that pairs nicely with the
Stop it.
rye bread. All right. Can we get to our lists? Oh, that's good stuff.
This is smooth.
Goes down smooth.
Yeah, this is too smooth.
Goes down real smooth. So what Ben Bryan was telling me
Notes
today.
of chocolate and black licorice.
Brian, stop that. What'd you just say? Stop it.
Notes of chocolate and black licorice.
Stop that.
Star anise.
Stop it.
See, there was no sommelier in the wasteland.
How long does he last in the wasteland?
I would make myself useful.
How would you make yourself useful? What would you do?
He would have found, the guy in Gastown who liked his refined business, and Brian would have swilled and pretended to know things about
This
wine.
is smooth.
No, I know you got him. I got him in Gastown. He's not going to be in Gastown. It's too far. He wouldn't. He's lazy as fuck. He would be. You know the little ball.
Well, it's not far if you
know
live
the,
there.
The pudgy little pup, the war pup that was like holding the
the arrow in his
veggies?
head?
No, not that guy. The guy that
pup?
was up there. Yeah, that's what they called before there were boys or war pups. And he was holding like the. He was just no lines or anything. He's just kind of like while they're all commiserating and talking about what they're going to do next. You can see him just standing there with like a tray of veggies.
Oh, yes.
And fruits.
Yes.
That's Brian. But he would be a full grown man doing
right.
that.
So,
It'd be a glass of wine.
High West double.
What are you doing? We're not doing that, Brian. We're getting to our list. Let's go.
Double rye.
The people, we're not watching you look up. I guess we are. All right.
Store pick.
So what Ben Bryan was telling me
This is solid. I
is
don't know
that
what the hell.
the stuff that you buy in bottles in the stores usually is like cut with water, and they don't cut these. So they're much higher volume
really?
and alcohol, and they just let them age in the casks.
Hey,
Okay, so let's go.
all right.
Let's get to the list.
This is a $60 bottle of whiskey.
So we're doing quitting scenes, which we did back in 2018 for Alex Simpson. And here we go.
is good.
10-1.
This
And
is
what I'll do,
enjoyable.
Brian, just to make it so it's not super fucking confusing. You got my list, right? I'm going to have to hear a couple clips here and there.
Yeah.
I'll just do my list at the end. I'll do 10-1.
I'm confused.
Just 10-1 at the end. And I'll just do my new 5-1, just for the sake of, keeping it clean. So you go, I go, you go, I go. And then at the end, I'll say the entire 10, which includes 5 from my last picks, as well as 5 from my new picks.
All right.
Makes sense? Or is
No,
it too
no,
convoluted?
not really. That's actually convoluted.
Is it?
A little bit. So you're doing your original 5 at the end.
I'm just going to say the full list in order at the
Okay.
end. Because my number 1 overall of the top 10, which is now top 10 because we're doing it again, we're updating it, it still was my number 1 on my last one. It has not been eclipsed. Do you see what I'm
really?
saying?
All right.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh, shit. Okay, you go first.
Could have killed that kid. All right, my number 10.
Mine's out of order. Fuck.
I want to play this clip. You have a second here because I'm playing a 2-minute clip here. This is from a 2013 film that I'm not in love with.
We're
but it
starting at the
definitely-
beginning?
I'm sorry. Yeah. It's a couple minutes long. But it's a great start, too. Great start audio-wise to begin our list here of top 5 quitting scenes. This is an actual job quitting scene. And this is when Donnie quits his job at the furniture store in Wolf of Wall Street after learning
Oh, yeah. You
what he
showed me a
could
paycheck.
and should be making. So
You
here,
showed me a pay stub.
here we go. He's
Smash cut.
No, yeah, no, everything's fine. Hey, listen, I quit.
That's it. That's it. He is so the Joe Pesci to De Niro in this role.
He's so good in it.
He's
Yeah,
so
he's
great,
really great.
with the teeth.
Oh,
Yeah, love that. I love that Jonah. Jonah's the best.
he's great.
He's the best, and he's so much self-reflecting. And he did that therapy movie, which I watched part of, and I would like to watch the whole thing. And he was one of the kindest, nicest people that we ever had on Loveline. And then I was hearing stories about how he was like, fake and a douchebag and mean and
When did you
behind
have
the
on?
scenes.
Like Superbad era?
No, it was after that. I think it was after this.
Oh.
I think it was like 2014, 2015.
No.
I think
After
so.
this?
Not after this moment, Brian, because
Oh.
that would be hard to do. But no, after Wolf of Wall Street.
That's-
Pretty sure.
wow.
I'm pretty sure he was already an Oscar winner. Maybe not. But just really ingratiating. Like, he gets, he's a bit of a sociopath, probably. He makes you feel like, but like he's owned all this, and he was talking about how he needs to grow as a person, and he has all that out there. And I really like this guy. I wish there's more people like him. Oh, that Jonah.
Fun facts, we grew up very close to you.
That's not fun at all. I'm not having fun hearing that. There's nothing fun about that. How am I supposed to feel with that?
Interesting fact.
Okay.
Grew
Maybe.
up just
How am I supposed to have fun with that?
grew up very close.
Wait, hold on. Let me go out in the yard and kick this around a little bit. Have some fun. Jonah, you still around?
Let me say it a few times.
I don't think he still lives here.
No. All right, go with your number 5. And then I guess we'll give Better Brian pole position, right? I always say that.
Sure. Number 5 for me. You know what's funny? I realized as I'm watching clips of all mine.
It was a good week for watching clips, right?
Fun.
Yeah.
Actually, number 5 for me is my most fun, I think, of my entire list.
Judging from what you think is fun, though, I'll be the.
That's true. It could not be fun at all. That said, I had fun watching my number 5, but none of my 5 are the words "I quit" ever uttered.
Oh, we just led with one where he says that. So
That's right.
yeah.
Number 5 for me. I can't believe this wasn't on my list, and I have such a distinct memory of like talking about this clip with you, but apparently for something else. This is from the underrated movie, Wanted, in 2008.
It came up a lot on that episode in 2018.
It must have. Did
As
it?
an also ran, yeah.
Ah, there you go. Directed by Timur, Jesus Christ, Beckman Belov. This is Wesley, who is now Phil. Wesley is the character.
James McAvoy.
Yeah, McAvoy. Filled with newfound confidence after an encounter with Angelina Jolie, he finally gets fed up with his abusive boss, Janice, played by Lorna Scott. He tells her off in a very crowded office, very loudly and profanely tells her off. And on his way out of the office, he takes his keyboard away from his desk, and Chris Pratt, a young Chris Pratt, his buddy's like, dude, that was so epic.
It was sick.
Chris Pratt's been boning his girlfriend, which he knows about, and he's too timid to do anything. Chris Pratt goes for like the big high five, gets whacked in the face with the board, and his teeth fly out of his face.
Slow motion.
Along with keys from the keyboard spelling out, fuck you.
Yeah. Good scene. Satisfying scene.
Satisfying.
He also calls her out for being bullied in grade school, and doesn't mean you get to come along and bully all of us, which we see all the fucking time in the workplace,
I know
right?
middle school must have been hard for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He put her in her place. Yeah. Good scene. Satisfying. Yeah.
Comeuppance,
Indeed. The whole movie could have been that. I like the curvy bullets.
Underrated movie.
Yeah.
I had no problem with that. It was a wild, like, exceeded my expectations.
Number 5.
Never saw any curvy bullets.
It's a good movie. It's a fun movie. It's a fun movie. It's kind of what I think that I'd be able to get on board for if Fast and Furious was that, like all this universe.
It definitely is a movie that exceeds your expectations. Like, I remember seeing the trailer and the curving bullets.
It's made a couple top 5 lists for me.
I don't want this shit.
Yeah. The car going to the train. Good shit.
Yeah.
It's a lot of Fast and Furious shit, but done in a more less douchey way. Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Fun.
Number 5 for Better Brand.
It's what, I'm gonna make a John Wick comparison, but it's good. It's fun.
Number 5 for Better Brian.
Hold on, I gotta ask a question. Seriously, honestly. Look me in the eye and tell me, what do you like more? Mad Max or Fast and Furious? Look me in the eye.
Which Mad Max? And which Furious?
All
Oh, okay.
the canon.
It's actually harder.
He's actually taking time, guys. That's you've told me everything I need to know. Okay,
I
already knew it.
I gotta
That's the sad part.
I gotta think about it.
That's the sad part. He didn't look me in the eyes either. He immediately looked away. Okay. Let's hear from better Bryan.
There's a couple Furiouses that are better than Thunderdome. I'll say that.
There's a couple of Fast and Furious
that are better than Thunderdome. Yeah.
Get off Thunderdome. Like I said, if Thunderdome lived in its own universe, it'd be a fine little movie.
You hit the nail on the head where you said it feels like Terry Gilliam made it. It
felt more like
extremely Terry Gilliam.
Right? It's weird. It was co-directed by George, so you wonder how much like he stepped out. So,
but the finale finally felt like George.
I finally got on the road.
It was great. It's the train with the flying machine.
Whiskey is the Shiraz.
Which was very confusing because the same actor played the flying machine guy at Road Warrior with bad teeth.
Speaking of which,
I like that, actually.
They did that in this.
In what? What are we talking about here?
Furiosa.
The same actor, yeah. They did
Chris
with,
Hemsworth, his wife is in this. She plays one of the hot chicks at the beginning, the Volvolini, who tells her you have to get out of here and you can't come back and no survivors can know where we are.
Yeah.
The hot blonde woman.
Yeah.
And that same actress who's
with
his wife.
Yoga pants. They're all wearing yoga pants.
Yes.
Yeah.
Plays the hair-lipped woman in his motorcycle gang with Hemsworth.
That's the same one?
Same
I
woman.
love that shit. You don't like it?
That.
I needed more for it.
Because I thought...
She needs a whole story.
Because I thought, is this related? I thought, is it the same character?
You didn't recognize her.
I did.
You did not. Get out of here with her hair lip. With her eating away.
I recognize.
You realize what that character did too, right? Like she was with the one band.
She was part of
that. She fought her way.
Lady and gentlemen, start your engines.
Destroyed her own like brethren just to ride with Dementus.
That's right.
Ruthless,
the guy who
right.
played Morton Joe also played a war boy. And the guy who played Morton Joe in the last movie was in Road Warrior.
Yeah, he was the original baddie in Road Warrior. Yeah.
Yes.
So George Miller.
George Miller, you know, I love it when they do that. I like that. Maybe there's a top 5 there. Oh, ho, ho.
Perhaps.
Where else? I mean, we saw it in Deadwood, right?
Yeah, that was also very
did not.
confusing.
Yeah.
Very confusing.
Because they didn't even do the makeup
that might be
much
the
different.
most confusing one.
I don't know. Road Warrior to the very next movie.
No, that is baffling. It is very hard to
Road
understand.
Warrior ends with him saying, and then we never saw the Road Warrior again. And it's the guy in the flying machine with the jacked up teeth. And then the very first scene of Thunderdome is the same actor with a little boy who you think is a little Pharaoh boy. And he's flying a fucking machine.
flying machine.
And you're just assuming, look, he's got some money. He's fixed his teeth and he's flying. It's not until like halfway through the movie you're like, oh, this is a different character entirely.
Insane.
They didn't give a fuck. Like, at no point did they like, oh, we're going to confuse people. What are you going to do? Tina Turner's confusing people enough. They'll be confused by Tina Turner. To the
I'm
point
confused why we're making this movie. Who cares?
It was fine if it lived in its own.
Did you get Phyllis your top 5?
Number 5 for Bryan McCulley. Better Bryan.
It's a 4-hour episode. My God.
We're drinking his whiskey and getting his list.
Chris McCandless and Into the Wild.
Oh, he does. He gives up on society.
McCandless' journey across
That's
the
right,
country
quit society.
definitely resulted in his decision to completely quit society, although that doesn't really work out for him. I know Andy is not a fan of McCandless' final lines, but McCandless. But going out into the wilderness in the first place was ballsy and insane.
True. And I think it was kind of based on some kind of true shit or something. Like a guy who wrote this.
Real guy.
Story.
And he's an immigrant grad.
I almost gave up on movies. Quit movies after walking out of this one. I fucking hated this movie so much at the end of it.
That's
2.5 hours to tell me that.
That's really impactful.
I'm gonna spoil it. Here's the message. Here's what you walk away from with this movie.
Berries?
People are important in your life.
What?
Whoa,
Yeah. Relationships.
What?
Important.
Okay,
Yeah.
cut that out.
Fucking movie.
I'm marking that.
Thank you.
Fucking Sean Penn style. Not taking the picture of the goddamn snow leopard after sitting there for 2 months on the goddamn hillside.
Sometimes
Walter Mitty.
Sometimes I don't take the shot.
Sometimes I keep it for me. You can keep it for you and your camera. God, I hate shit like that. Just sanctimonious
Just self-righteous.
bullshit. Self-righteous shit that would never happen in the real world. Just gives movies a bad name.
The exact person who would say that would never do it.
They want to get to that age because they would have been like murdered by another human being.
By opening their mouth and being killed in the wasteland.
Number 4 for me for the sakes. You know what I'll do? Number 4 for me. But it's actually, where is it on my list? Number 7 on my list. All right.
This is quite a way to do it.
It's going to be great. This is Bob, and there's no, we're not going to play the clip here, and there's really no audio. But this is when, it could be might have to argue a little bit here. The Incredibles. Bob quits
Why would
in
this?
The Incredibles. Because in that moment, he says,
No,
fuck this job.
Why would one argue this?
Because he gets fired, technically.
Nah.
But he decides in that moment to let his rage
Overtake.
physically abuse his
gives
boss
in,
through
he gives
multiple
in his
walls. Yeah.
Sort of like the eggplant scene where he makes his decision and gives in.
Eggplant.
In True
Oh,
Romance.
yeah. Give me a Chesterfield.
He makes his call.
Yeah,
You
so
know
I
what?
mean,
Fuck
but
this.
he did have a moment of
He
he
could
lapsed, and I think that if he could have gone back and done it again, he wouldn't have done it because he didn't want to lose that job, and he ended up getting fired. But he let his rage take over,
Sure.
and in that moment, he knew that he was like making a choice.
I agree.
So-
I totally agree. That's even though. So sometimes my next one is another example of not technically quitting, but effectively quitting.
So Bob,
Yeah.
and Mr. Incredible himself quits
right.
in
The
The
insurance
Incredibles.
company.
Is my number 7, 2004.
Number 4 for me is
What was
a
your
sim-
5?
It was Wanted.
Yes.
Wanted from 2008. Number 4 for me is similar in the sense that the character quits. I mean, he may be fired technically, or he may actually not, but let's not make any mistake. He is quitting in his own way. Talk about Fight Club from 1999, David Fincher's Fight Club. Our narrator, Edward Norton, makes a wild gambit, Anderson, where when he enters his boss's office, blackmails him or attempts to, and then he violently kicks his own ass, blaming it on the boss. And the boss, by the way, Zach Grenier from Devs.
Zach Grenier.
The enforcer, the security.
Security. Oh, really? Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, look at that.
And
Character actor. I like that guy.
And then
you need to blow your
Edward-
nose, buddy.
What's that?
You got the nasally thing going
I
again. You
also-
gotta blow your nose.
That's what the
No.
towel's for.
Oh, yeah.
And he extorts the company for a huge severance package.
yeah.
So technically, he didn't really quit, but he quit. Let's call that a quitting scene.
Not on my list, but it's almost identical to American Beauty.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
And it's one of the great quitting scenes, but he's not really quitting. He's quitting, but he's doing blackmail,
Right.
using blackmail. And I couldn't have it on my list, though, because Kevin Spacey's been canceled.
Okay, yeah, can acknowledge he was an actor.
No, it was almost on my list, but it's just so
A
obvious.
lot of the overtones are Spacey-esque.
Yeah, I know.
Can you prove that you didn't offer I could keep my job?
Maybe none of that was
if
on
I let
paper.
you blow me?
And he's like, hey, I got this scene. I'm going to rewrite it on the fly. This actually happened to me just last week, and I'm going to just replay
It's like
it.
the
as though-
Jinx. They just left the camera rolling.
I got this.
I got this. I do miss Spacey as an actor. He was fucking one of a kind. Watching that
He
scene
was.
just this week, thinking, do I put this on the list? Because it's a great fucking this and obviously Jerry Maguire. I left those two off. Great quitting scenes, but I just want to have more fun. I just want to have a little more fun.
I'm surprised you haven't watched the Spacey doc yet, Brian. I think there's one on
Very
HBO
Brian,
about his misdeeds
Or Pop-Tarts.
and him being a monster.
I haven't watched
didn't-
Pop-Tarts.
Yeah, these are very Brian films.
How are you missing these, Brian?
What is the Kevin Spacey dog called?
It's not
called-
very creative.
It's called I Blew Them All.
Spaceman.
Of course.
Blew them all, of course.
Spacey Unmasked.
Yes, Spacey.
Oh, it's like it's new.
Yeah, it's a new Brian movie.
Yeah, it's a new Brian film.
It's a two-parter. I'm out.
I'm surprised you weren't in because there was a still of Spacey standing in front of a Nazi flag in his childhood home, and I went, okay,
Oh, really?
things are lining up.
There's like a little kid.
Not
picture
as a
of-
kid, but a younger man, probably late teens,
front of a
early
Nazi
20s.
flag?
Yeah, apparently
What
his
the
dad
fuck?
was a real Nazi sympathizer. Yeah.
Jesus.
Enthusiast, collector.
Brian, don't not correct that and act like you know more about it than you should.
I don't know anything about it.
Sounds like you. All right.
Sounds like he wants to.
Let's hear from Better Brian.
Better Brian.
5-hour show.
Number 4, Anakin in Revenge of the Sith.
Sick.
I think Anakin cutting the hand off of Mace Windu is
the
a
Jedi Order.
pretty decisive announcement that he will no longer be a Jedi. At least he took the time to say goodbye to the younglings before he left.
Oh, that's an inappropriate comment.
You know what we didn't do is let everyone know that we're doing our watch along this week. We're doing it tomorrow night as we speak these words. So
yeah.
it's probably a little bit late by the time you hear this. It's probably already happened, but you could get the file if you are a part of our $10 and above.
True.
And we're going to be watching. I am genuinely excited to watch Cosmo Ball with you, Brian. It's a Russian film that I discovered a couple weeks ago when we were doing top 5. What was we were doing top 5?
Top 5 Russian weird movies.
No, we weren't doing that. What was it?
Post-apocalyptic.
Post-apocalyptic movies, yes. And I found a couple, like 5, that I had never heard of before that I was very interested in, one of which was Cosmo Ball. And we have questions about the little heart-shaped animatronic thing that's CGI'd up. And we have questions about the big furry cloud.
You're going to like
thing.
this piece of shit.
I might end up liking it. Yeah,
Like this.
and we're gonna be watching it tomorrow night.
It's a 2-hour movie.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
end up on best old new movies.
And I got to do an after disaster right after that. I got to hightail it over to Mike's. Oh, jeez. All right, so that means I can't drink any whiskey with you tomorrow night. All right, so
Oh, come on.
I know. You
Sorry.
guys watch it right now. Give people a little late heads up and watch it right after this.
That's a good point.
Pull an all-nighter.
Hey, sorry, you guys, to watch on 24 hours early.
All right, we're up. I'm up, right?
Yes.
Number 3.
Oh, this is a good one. You know what? Let's play the clip. I think that I have it queued up. I should have it queued up. My number 6. This is my number 6, and it's from a 1994 film, Brian.
Am I playing it or are you playing it?
You could play it. Should be queued up to 104.
Yes.
And this is Reality Bites, Brian, which is not a movie that I loved. It was a movie that made too
Rarely
much.
comes out on this show.
This movie, I saw this in 94, so I was in my early 20s, and this movie was made. No, I wasn't even 20. I was in my teens. And this movie was made for me. It was made for like Gen X. It was made for like angsty teens, and it felt too aimed at me for me to like it. I'm like, I see what you're doing here.
Now, this is a good example of movies that when people try to lump me in with Generation X, I'm like, Reality Bites meant nothing to me. That was huge for like older kids. I didn't give a shit.
I
As though that's the determining factor.
It was, by the time I saw it, I was in my like, fuck you to everybody and really pretty, you know, I was going, you know, I was 5 years past bringing a cat head to school, right? It was like, this movie was soft for me. And I'm like, you guys, if you want to try and do something for me, like this is like the soft version of that. Anyways, there is a very, very, there's some good stuff in here. Ethan Hawke crushed, and Winona Ryder is very good in it. She's peak Winona, as you would say. And she's got this job. And actually watching these clips, last time I saw this movie was before I worked in live TV with all these like TV personalities and whatnot. And I saw quite a bit of these types. You've seen some of them too. And they nail it. Like you can tell they were on, like they've had some run-ins with these. They've worked with some of these fucks who are completely one way, and then the camera comes on, they're completely different. Professionals, they get the job done, but they are not authentic at all. So it's her job, Winona Ryder's job on this morning, like cheesy morning show, is cue cards. And her boss, what's his name? He's from Frasier, no longer with us. What's his name? I have his name here. John Mahoney. John Mahoney is her very, very difficult boss, and he's been giving her the business for a while now, and she decides to let everyone know that she quits by going down in flames and fucking with his cue cards, and it sounds a little something like this on live TV.
Is this a good morning or what? Well, with us today is Libby Kumba, the author of this book, Mommy, Why Do I Hate Myself? Self-Esteem for Parent and Child. Good morning, Libby.
Good morning, Grant.
Good morning. Now, Libby, I'm concerned with self-esteem. Personally, I've always had an odd preference for very, very young girls.
It's all old ladies and the blue hairs in the audience.
Being a total prick. Lee Pear.
Prickly Pear's trying to save it.
Why do we welcome this audience again, huh? Good morning.
Just stare at them.
I make more of a mess than Ruby does.
And then just fall out. We're done.
The crowd is not with you.
No. Prick
Crowd is not with you.
Glee Pear. I love how he was trying to turn it into something that it wasn't. Ah, good. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Ben Stiller directed?
I think he did, yeah.
Pretty sure.
Pretty sure.
Pretty sure.
Yes. I always get this one, and there's that other one.
Singles.
Yes, Singles.
I get confused too.
Yes.
Again, meant nothing to me.
All right, yeah. So you were too busy. What were you doing in 1994, Brian? Do I want to know? Hitting grand slams and staring at
Being
them like...
confused by Pulp Fiction.
That's one of the worst things I've ever seen.
Why is that worst?
It's Ben Stiller directed Reality Bites.
We can watch it again if you...
I had it wrong though with your grand slam. Like I thought that you were just like kind of like trying to like play it up, like of course, but no, you were like in complete amazement. Like, is this moment in my life absolutely really happening?
I was completely. Yeah, I wasn't cool enough to play cool.
No, not nearly at all. Like you took a couple
little
baby steps and then you stopped. Like no, it can't be. It can't because this is too good for me. Then a couple more. Like, it's real.
It was almost a stagger step.
This is going to change my life forever.
I'll be talking about this on a podcast.
I'll be talking about this 30 years from now. Or has it been 40? Might have been almost 40 years from now.
1991.
Jesus,
1991.
You got to stop talking about 35, 34
That's the
years,
year I was
33
born.
years ago.
Year I was born.
If Jesus was born at that moment, he'd be dead by now. That's
Wow.
how long ago it
Think
happened.
about that.
Is that right? He died at 33?
Not quite. I'm 32.
32? Yeah,
I'm getting there.
33. Happened in
If
90.
you believe he actually
91.
existed.
It happened in 91. Right? It's 2024. It's 33 years.
Well, it was
He's
probably
dead.
June.
All right.
Good times.
And that J-Man guy, he's made a name for himself. He had a lot of time. So all that time has passed.
That's true.
Imagine that. You got to let
He's
it go.
who.
God.
Got to quit it. Got to quit.
When they compare myself to Jesus Christ,
No, I'm not saying that at
I
all.
really
That's
come up to
not what I'm
lacking.
saying.
He was based off of Caesar from Planet of the Apes.
J-Man was, yes. So I've heard. All right, let's.
Number 3 for me.
Yes.
Number 3 for me, a film that I considered strongly leaving off the list, but knowing that you don't love the movie nearly as much as I do. That said, I said, fuck it, I love this movie so much, and this is a great scene of exactly what we're talking about. Yes, it is a quitting scene. This is The Blues Brothers from 1980, directed by John Landis. So, of course, they're on a mission from God. The Blues Brothers' quest to put the band back together leads them to the Soul Food Cafe, where their old guitarist, Matt Guitar Murphy, and their saxophonist, Blue Lou Marini, now work as a fry cook and dishwasher, respectively. They convince them both to quit their jobs and rejoin the band, but not before Murphy's wife, played by Aretha Franklin, performs a song and dance routine, letting him know to think about the consequences of his actions.
Saxophone.
That's right.
Yes.
It's a great scene.
It's okay.
Although it's what you describe in Happy Feet, which is first singing a song,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Which can rub some people the wrong way.
No, I like this movie more than I give it credit for. And I remember, I think you made me watch it, or I had to watch it sometime during this show being recorded. And I remember coming back in, a little bit tail between the legs and some egg on my face, and crow still on my breath.
Crow being eaten.
Yeah. And I'm like, it's a good movie. There's some great stuff in there for sure. I associate it with you.
It's funny because
I associate it with like young pudgy Bryan thinking it's cool. You know what I mean?
That's what I was doing
I
in
could see you
91.
dressing up like that for Halloween or
Yeah.
something.
Oh, that would have been sweet.
My roommate's
Did it?
dad is in it.
Really?
Really?
He is the black hotel clerk that tells him that they got to get out or something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah.
With the black guy who talks to him.
Nice.
When they run
That reminds me, I was looking up just fun facts about this movie. Apparently, the budget ran way over budget, and they were very concerned with how much money they were spending. And I was like, well, how much did it cost? $27 million.
Well, I mean,
But in
Inflation.
1980 standards for a comedy, yeah, that's
like
a lot of
at
money.
least 27.5 million today, probably.
At least.
Close to 28.
27.8 million?
Oh, don't get
Let me
crazy.
do some inflation math in my head. No, sorry, 28 million would probably be. What are we gonna?
It's a good bit. You should just keep
It's a
going.
hilarious bit. I'm gonna grind it into the fucking ground. I wonder what it would be. I hate when they do that. Inflation, right? That would be a $500 million.
All right, what is Bryan McCulley's number 3?
McCall.
Bryan McCulley's number 3 is Neo taking the red pill and effectively quitting the Matrix to wake up in the real world. Not much to say here other than it's a quitting scene that's ended up in the zeitgeist.
Yeah, you red pilled.
I think I was around 12 when this movie came out, and the imagery of the red and blue pills in the mirror is something I will always be able to recall easily.
It's the reflection of Morpheus' glasses.
Yep.
The shades.
Carefully, I almost said Morbius, and that triggers me.
Oh, yeah. Huge opening weekend.
What?
Huge
No, it does
opening
not give
weekend.
me a
Huge
huge-
opening weekend.
Oh, I thought you said huge dopamine hit. No, opposite
Well,
of that.
Brian had that.
I did not say that.
All right, we're gonna have to drink this out, this ice cream beer here in a second. But first, we gotta move on with our list. Wait, am I on my number 3 now?
No,
Or am
we're,
I?
we're taking a break.
We're
Oh, we're
taking a
taking a break. Okay. So
Break
ice cream beer.
time.
Ice cream beer.
Get some
So
glasses.
we opened a beer that Brian also sent called You Float 2.
The
T-O-O.
majority is in my sink.
And it's like what? How many
It
milliliters?
themed.
750 milliliters.
Yeah,
Not quite that much.
it's a bigger one, though.
Baby, a wine bottle. is what it looks
500.
like. And I cracked it. It's a beer. I cracked it, and comically long. If we saw it in a movie, we'd be like, "That's impossible." Like they
They ran a tube through it, in a table, like when they're doing fake vomit.
And they're
I thought there was like something inside that was causing
like a CO2 thing. That
the cartridge.
It went on, and I'm not kidding, for probably 2 minutes.
Yeah,
it just kept fizzing and fizzing, and just so half of the contents. It
was longer than the vomiting scene in Team America.
And then I took the whole cap off, and it just kept bubbling and going and going and going. Brian says he's
and then
not
you're supposed to shake it,
and then I was supposed to shake it more. Afterwards, agitated.
He's playing a joke.
But it's made of ice cream and birthday cake and sprinkles. And we're going to drink it right now. And I'm excited. All right.
And then, while Anderson's dealing with that, Amazon, after this. There we go. We're back. Amazon time. I do have to say, I don't know if this counts as a major announcement or a minor announcement. Either way, thanks to you guys doing your Amazon, supporting the show, tapping the banner over at AndersonandBryan.com. We have hit our second bonus of the month for the second month in a row. Last time we did it like on the last day and like cleared it by a few $100. They give you a bonus if you have people tap your link and order a certain number of product or a certain amount of money worth of products over the course of a month. Last month we cleared it by a couple $100 on the last day of the month. This month we did it with a few days to spare, so you guys have stepped it up. I appreciate that a lot. That's very impressive and very cool. I will say there is a third, I thought, untouchable bonus. Oh my God, that'll ever happen. I feel like June is the month to maybe try because we got Dancing Rats, Father's Day gifts, graduation gifts, and also if you're, buying a new barbecue or something.
We're going on vacation. You're trying to get some supplies.
Yeah, there you go. 4th of July, you got a new barbecue or something like that, or on vacation, like Avery said. Hey, consider maybe tapping that banner, that link over at AndersonandBryan.com. It costs you nothing, and apparently it's working out for us. So thank you again for your support. We appreciate it. Now for things purchased on the Amazon banner / link on AndersonandBryan.com. A couple of Asus Zen books were purchased. An Asus ZenBook 14 and an Asus ZenBook laptop were both picked up, both over $1,000 each. And not to be outdone, an HP NB 2-in-1 laptop was also purchased. Let me turn over my light. There we go. A two Zafro portable air conditioners, 17-gallon fermentation tank for craft beer home brewing, ARB awning with floor. I think it's for camping on it. There we go. I'm getting nasally. I don't know what that is. Maybe that'll help. Maybe not. TCL 40-inch LED smart TV, Western Digital. That's really mean.
And it was entirely off air.
Western Digital Black, 2 terabytes SSD for PS5, Casio G-Shock 40th Anniversary Digital Edition watch, Ego Power Plus fuel gauge batteries purchased, Swigline electric hole puncher, Boss Waza Craft chromatic tuner, and Nike.
Someone bought a tumor?
Chromatic tuner. It's a tuner for, I believe, a guitar or other instruments. A Nike Metcon 9 workout shoes were purchased. ThermoPro, Temp Spike wireless meat thermometer, Bucket Golf Game Pro, 2 Bucket Golf clubs to go with the Game Pro. Avituben Doghouse, Keychron wireless mechanical keyboard, Lignomat moisture meter, Max Sports heavy duty collapsible beach wagon, 12-pack of Nordic Pure Merv 8 air filters, Zyx EL, modem was purchased, as was a Diodora Calcutto pair of soccer shoes, and finally, someone used our link to get themselves an HP external DVD drive. Nailed it.
You really did.
You're welcome.
You leaned in hard. Like you had a lot of confidence, a lot of swagger.
I had a lot to lose.
You didn't lose it, though.
Thanks.
Or did ya?
whiskey is good.
Yeah. Maybe it'll clear your sinuses, Bryan.
God, that'd be nice.
Why don't we get you some sinus, like those strips, those nasal strips?
Well, I'm going to take a deep inhale, and we'll see if it works.
Somebody just sent me a listener sent me like a massage you can do for
All
your
right,
sinuses.
Am I good?
Isn't
It
there one
works really well.
Just drain you, right? There's
It
some
drains,
like pressure
yeah.
point you hit, and you're just good.
It was it was kind of crazy. Like
You gotta send that to me.
I was following the YouTube video of this doctor who is insufferable,
Right.
but he's telling you what to do. You got to start doing that before the show.
All right, Avery,
So you don't
adding
sound
to
like
your
a-
list of responsibilities.
You're gonna sound because you sound like a Def Jam comedy comic making fun of white people.
Oh, really?
That's what you sound like. A little bit, right?
Ironic.
Here the movie conclusions last night on Dead Show. 2 people, not one, but 2 people got the Fall Guy, which is depressing that it's already available in your home. It's
I don't know
crazy.
if you noticed, those are 2 people who purchased it.
That's nice. I'm glad that they purchased it, but look at that. They bought them. They bought it to own it. I just can't believe you can already get it in your house. It seems like I just saw it with a wife a couple weeks ago.
Just those meant to be.
You did.
Serenity, because they were also pushing like only in theaters
Yep.
for 2 weeks.
Now it's at home.
Serenity was clicked through, as well as Paper Moon. Bullet was clicked through. Apocalypse Now. Kramer versus Kramer. Look at that. The Color of Money. St. Elmo's Fire. Smoke Signals. Rocket Man. 6 Days, 7 Nights. Wrong Move. English subtitle. Braveheart was clicked through. Freedom for whites. Rockman was clicked through. Shin Ultraman. I don't know what that Shin Ultraman. What is Shin Ultraman?
It's not Shin Godzilla, I'll tell you.
Dune Part 2 was clicked through, as well as Late Night with the Devil.
Sick.
The Last Stop in Yuma County. EO Capitano. Tough watch, but very good. As well as Mad Max Fury Road. Mad Max Fury Road was clicked through. Appreciate that. They're all on the HBO Max, by the way. I don't know if that's a gimmick
Maybe
because there's
they're not
Max in there, but
I
I don't think so.
Mad HBO Max.
Zatoichi, The Blind Swordsman, and Civil War was clicked through. You can watch Civil War from the comfort of your
really?
own
Nice.
goddamn red state, blue state, whichever state you're in, couch. What in the... Already?
Apparently.
I can watch that horrific scene at the end again.
Yes, you can.
It's not, guys, it's not the whole scene at the end. It's just the one sequence where a body is going to the ground in slow motion. All right. Hey, I gave you a lot of shit about
That's
The Voice.
3.5 seconds out of a 2-hour movie.
It took a star for that. It didn't ruin the movie. It took a star. I give you a lot of shit about The Voice.
Well,
And I give you a lot of shit about everything, right?
The voice.
That's true.
Including
Yes.
The Voice, too. I just feel like, as a friend, I have to.
okay.
You know what I mean?
Is that your apology?
No, I'm not apologizing. I'm saying that I'm not going to stop giving you shit.
So this interaction meant nothing.
No, yeah, it means nothing at all. Yeah.
All right.
That's what I let you
Well,
know. I'm not doing it to hurt you. I'm doing it to make you stronger. No, I think
He's being
Feels
dementous.
the
He's,
beast.
he's forging you.
That's right. I'm little D.
Would you rather me pretend that I don't hear it?
Little D?
Because that feels really fucking weird and creepy. Like everyone can hear something, but just no one's saying anything. You know what I mean?
I'd appreciate that.
Would you like that?
No.
Really?
Not now.
Well, I mean, it's too late now.
Yeah, I was
We've
going to
gotta
say that
cross
ship was
bridge.
sailed.
That ship has
Ship
sailed.
was sailed.
Is it? But should I be worried? I mean, should you talk to your doctor about it? I feel like we had this conversation 6 months ago, and you never did. Is it your brain seeping down into your nose? Is that something that could happen?
That actually is a symptom. Oh, no, it's not. But listen, of all the physical maladies that I've encountered in my life, this is minor.
Not when you're talking into a microphone.
That's a good
It's pretty
point.
major.
That's why he's not talking into the microphone.
You're talking away from the mic. No, he's drinking whiskey, so he's back on it.
That's true.
Bryan, I think that what you should do is if somebody else who's not me, if you're not like surrounded by friends, and like somebody, if anyone,
Like Corolla.
yeah, if Corolla would bring it up, you just say, yeah, my brain is so big that's actually like going down into my nasal sinuses
I'm adding knowledge at all times.
through my nose.
And thus it is now seeping into my crevices.
Can I tell you that this ice cream beer is actually very good?
It's bizarre.
It tastes.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's Look at it. It's cloudy.
It
Tastes
tastes
like
like
a pina colada.
yeah.
it
It's
good?
it's like one of those things like you might make in your
Is it
kitchen, like
beer?
for the morning. Yeah, it's beer. All right, we're gonna get back. We're gonna drink some of the ice cream beer
I'm nervous.
and talk about our tops.
Scaring me.
All right, we're back. My voice is back. We're back.
Yeah, it is back.
It is.
What'd
back.
you do?
I took your criticism to heart.
So my criticism actually cured you.
That's
nice. Nice.
Yeah.
It's like fat shaming.
Harsh words, yeah, exactly. I took a long look in the mirror, in the audio mirror.
No, Bryan, I worry about your nasally drone. Or is it, is that what it is?
What's that?
You miss Corolla so much you're trying to get nasally?
Oh, interesting. Wow. I don't even notice
Subconscious.
Where does he end and I begin?
It's subconscious. It's your tribute to like your feelings for him.
Yeah.
He's gone. You know what's going to happen to me is I'm going
tools.
to wake up nasally tomorrow. It's going to be a little bit of some comeuppance.
That's right.
I'm going to be getting the old karma.
Right there in the nasal passage.
That's karma, right?
I guess it is a form of
People
karma.
misuse karma all the time, but I think that's an appropriate. I think.
I feel okay.
I think it's the Western version of karma, at least.
Myself.
Yeah.
Karma is my boyfriend.
What?
It's a Taylor Swift lyric.
Karma's your boyfriend?
That's right.
Is that what she says?
That's one of the things she says.
Do you think that what's his fuck's names? His friends
Travis.
on the field?
Karma's a cat.
Call him Karma.
Yeah.
Fuck with him. All right, here we go. Where are we at? All right.
Number 2 for you.
Number dos for me, which on my list, very convoluted, confusing list, but that's what we do when we update over here, is, oh my God, I already burned it and it's on my list. I ended up leaving it on. Lester Quits and Blackmails and American Beauty.
Well done.
Yeah, I'm stepping on my own. Yeah, it's great. It's a great scene, and we want to hear a little bit of it?
I'll get a little space.
Might as well get a little taste, right?
Refresh our memory.
Here's Lester quitting a job that he absolutely hates, and here we go.
Of basically masking my contempt for the.
Oh, yeah, hold on. Let me set it up a little bit in case you don't remember. It's a 1999 movie. So his boss is reading like they all have to fill like a little thing like what they do around the office as an exercise, and this is what Lester, played by Kevin Spacey, had to say about his role at the
His day-to-day.
Yeah.
Come on.
So he's in the boss's office.
My job consists of basically masking my contempt for the assholes in charge, and at least once a day retiring to the men's room so I can jerk off while I fantasize about a life that doesn't so closely resemble hell. Well, you obviously have no interest in saving yourself.
Brad, for 14 years I've been a whore for the advertising industry. The only way I could save myself now is if I start firebombing.
Whatever. Management wants you gone by the end of the day.
Well, just what sort of severance package is management prepared to offer me, considering the information I have about our editorial director buying pussy with company money, which I think would interest the IRS since it technically constitutes fraud. And I'm sure that some of our advertisers and rival publications might like to know about it as well, not to mention Craig's wife.
Oh, his smile right there is fucking great, isn't it?
What?
1 year's salary with benefits.
Not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Well, what do you say I throw in a little sexual harassment
See,
charge?
this part I don't buy.
This is all Spacey.
Yeah.
Against you. Can you prove that you didn't offer to save my job if I let you blow me?
That's a very 1999 thing. I don't think that makes it in because it's not believable. It's not viable.
Twisted fuck.
Oh.
Nope. I'm just an ordinary guy with nothing to lose.
I fucking love this movie.
Very freeing, yeah. It's a master.
I haven't seen it in a long
It's
time.
a master fucking piece. This is a great movie.
Top 5 all time for me.
Wow,
I
really?
fucking love this movie.
Alan Ball crushing it. Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen it in the longest time.
I remember this is one of those movies you walk out and you're just like, I just saw something very special. It's a
Oh,
very
yeah.
special movie.
It's a bummer because this is the movie I used to watch when if I was just in a shitty headspace or just need a little refresher, I'd throw this on.
You can still do it.
Yeah.
Before Spacey weird
He's
as
not playing Kevin Spacey. He's playing
Exactly.
a character.
I've still done it.
Yeah. You're not watching it for Kevin Spacey. You're watching it for the ride in the movie.
That's
and,
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Can you separate the artist from the art? All right, what's
Number 2 for me. I'm going way back to 1960 to The Apartment. The Apartment, directed by Billy Wilder. This is where Baxter, played by Jack Lemmon, gets fed up with his boss's philandering. When the boss, Mr. Sheldon.
Ryan, you're kind of giving everything away. You got to be careful.
Well, that's the problem.
I left this off my list because it's like it gives away the it's a great fucking movie. You know it's a great movie.
No, it's a great movie. I mean, I guess it is a bit of a spoiler,
A
but
bit.
That's why Brian likes it so much.
let's just say that it involves the wrong key to being given
Brian.
to the restroom. and him quitting over the boss's dalliances.
I had this on my list earlier this week, and I'm like, you know what? I'm giving away. I can't believe that you have. I forgot that you'd seen this movie.
We saw it together.
Wow.
I think it might have been assigned.
No, Brian. I watched this like 3 or 4 times before we
then
ever did
you
this.
assigned it to me.
I love this movie. Yeah. Okay. It's a great movie, and it's worthy of a list. I'm glad it's on your list, but not to be like Mr. Know-It-All over here, which I accuse you of being all the time. But I know that you're ruining this movie for many people who have not seen it.
Jack Lemmon?
Yeah, Jack Lemmon.
Oh, this movie's great.
Shirley MacLaine. Like, a lot of people think of this movie as homework, and it's not.
It does seem like it would be homework.
It goes down real smooth, and it's satisfying as fuck, and it's really good. It's thought-provoking, and it's a movie of its time, and you got the backdrop was very 60s, and I think we can all highly recommend this movie.
It's great.
Yes.
So, yeah, let's just not give away everything. Because
I'll just say that Jack Lemmon quits.
Quits his day job.
That's right.
Keeps singing and playing the saxophone, though. That. All right, here we go. What's better, Brian's? You got to try some of this ice cream beer, Brian.
I'm almost done with the whiskey.
Better Bryan.
That was perfect.
Is number 2. Is Daniel Hillard quitting his voice acting gig in Mrs. Doubtfire.
Mrs. Doubtfire. He goes off script.
I forgot all about this until
Really?
Better Brian was telling me about it earlier
He goes
today.
off script when he refuses to endorse smoking.
That's exactly it. He goes quits after refusing to promote smoking in a kids' cartoon, giving the audience a lot of background about his character and his morals right off the bat, while still showing that he's rash and childish. We have a clip.
Oh, we do. Nice.
Are we saving it for when Andy gets back?
No, I want the.
Well, I thought I should comment on the situation.
What situation?
The fact that Pudgy the Parrot has a cigarette shoved into his mouth is morally irresponsible.
This is a cartoon, okay? This is not a friggin' Oprah Winfrey special.
Lou, millions of kids see this cartoon. It's like sending each one of them a packet of cigarettes and saying, light up.
You can't put words in Pudgy's mouth if his mouth isn't moving.
What's voiceover? It's an interior monologue. Maybe even the voice of God. That's even better. Stella and Pudgy, and smoke.
Actors.
What? Well, let's ask the technicians. Do you think it's morally right to promote smoking to the youth of America?
They're all smoking and singing.
They're biased. That's a mistrial.
Daniel, listen to me. This session is costing the studio thousands of dollars. Now, if you want a paycheck, you stick to the script. If you want to play Gandhi, then do it on somebody else's time.
No, that was bad.
And then I've got to do what I've got to do.
That's very funny. Where the hell are you going? Hey, listen, buddy, I'll tell you something. If you leave, you're not coming back in. I'm not taking any crap from you, pal.
Well, in the words of Porky Pig,
Piss off, Lou.
Took a moral stand.
He was a little Robin Williams in that scene. What do you say?
Sure. Yeah, I can see it. Now, what do you have there?
This is called.
I need a comeback.
Made West Brewing Company.
Made West?
Hazy IPA. Made
Ooh,
West.
nice.
Made West.
You would like a hazy IPA.
I would?
Yeah.
What do you know about me, Brian?
I know your tastes.
Do you? Is that what
You
you're
looking
trying
for a
to
little nip?
give me a watch?
Hazies are good.
Hazies are good. All right, ready for my number 1 on the new list? This is where it gets controversial, Brian. This is where I might kind of come off as flip it. Aloof.
What is it?
Christine Chubbuck. You know Christine Chubbuck?
No, I don't think so.
Christine Chubbuck is she was a news reporter from the 70s.
Oh, news reporter.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
She quit. Now, there's a movie made about Christine Chubbuck. A very good movie called Christine, actually, played by Rebecca Hall. And it was an Oscar-worthy performance. It was a really, really good movie. That kind of went under the radar because I think of the nature of the subject matter. But Christine Chubbuck, she quits for real. Like, she quits for keeps on television as a news reporter, live on TV. And it was a tragic story. It really was. And I think it was, dare I say, like, it was somewhat of an important movie because it was really getting into her psyche. Rebecca Hall is so good at
Was she mentally ill or why did she quit?
Mentally ill and battling like real hardcore depression. And I think that they got into that pretty good with this movie.
Right.
Yet the movie kind of came and went and didn't get its due.
Yeah, I barely remember it.
But in the actual story and in real life and in the movie, she pulls out a revolver and ends her life on air.
Oh, she quit the earth.
Yeah, she quit.
Checks out of the hotel life, as Mike Carano would say.
So she quit the job, obviously, as well as everything else. So that's my ultimate quit.
Oh, yeah,
Still
that counts.
Doesn't beat out my number one from last time we did, which was the Bad News Bear, where he quits the Little League. Still my number one because it's the most personal to me. Where he takes the grounder back, Joey.
Yeah, the on the Yankees, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And after being brutalized by his father on the pitching mound in front of everybody, he decides to say "fuck you" to his dad by
being browbeaten.
Yes. Well, not just browbeaten. He was like literally beaten.
Beaten.
Beaten like one strike, but still that's enough in front of everybody. Yeah.
Well.
I watched that scene 3 times this week, I think, and went down a rabbit hole of watching videos that people made because they got out there and did it. I had big ideas of Atticus and I going out during COVID. Did a little bit of it. Going to locations where they actually shot movies and stuff, and now there's like a bunch of them with like a lot of they're good videos, and I watched one all about.
Where are they?
No, I didn't do them. Like other people have done them like the last few years, where they go to the actual locations. I was watching one on Suburbia just the other day.
Sure.
And I was watching one on Bad News Bears because the misnomer that fun fact, Brian, right down the street from where you are.
Bad News Bears Field.
That's not where the Bad News Bears was shot at all.
That was in the valley, right?
Misnomer, yeah. It was down in Mason Field in the valley.
Yeah, there's the field on Smallville, which is a street down here, proudly proclaiming Bad News Bears Field.
Bad News Field, Bears Field. But the reason why they call it that is because that's where the actual stories took place, where the writer and his son were in the Little League.
Interesting.
League that actually
so it was
played
set there, but it was shot.
Well, it was inspired there because like he and his son wrote the script for the original Bad News Bears from the things that they saw on that field at the Bayou. So they call it the Bad News, but they shot it out in the valley.
Did not know.
So both are equally impressive. Bad News Bears, connections.
My number one is similar to yours in the sense that it's much more grandiose than the average quitting scene. And it's maybe a little clever, but I don't think so because this technically counts. Maybe the most quitting scene of them all. War Games.
Oh, no, Brian. You. I have the luxury of just having heard the 2018 episode that we did on this. And you.
What?
You at the end of the show.
It wasn't.
You said, would you have been mad if I had put this to try to be clever? I thought for a second of trying to be clever and putting this on the list. Brian, okay.
What did you say?
I said, of course, I'd be enraged. I'd be very upset with you. Yes.
And here we are.
All right, make your joke. Go ahead.
There's no joke.
All right, so what is the thing? And how dare you compare this a fucking computer early idea of AI quitting a game to Christine Chubbuck? How dare you?
I thought you were going to be upset at the spoiler aspect.
I mean, it's you can just say that it quit and then leave it at that.
A computer, a computer that controls, I think, NORAD. Well, no, what?
Quits a game.
Yeah,
quits playing
a computer that controls like the nuclear missile defense for North America is engaged in a game of tic-tac-toe by young, plucky Matthew Broderick.
Perky even. Perky too.
I guess so.
You said plucky, but I said perky.
Okay. And the game goes on in perpetuity as a series of.
I mean, you could just say that he quit the game and then leave it at that, and not get into like the nitty gritty.
Oh, well, I thought it was.
So their last two are just absolute and total like
I like how his defense was. I thought it was interesting.
It is. That's why it made it a good movie. That's why it's a good movie too, right?
Is it?
I thought the spoiler was. I thought the climax was interesting.
You know what's really interesting? Is
I didn't say when it came.
The Soylent Green turns out to be people. That's really interesting.
Kaiser Soze is also very interesting.
That's on your mug.
Kaiser is very interesting. Shall we talk about Kaiser?
No.
No, careful. I can see you making connections. I see the connections happening right now in your head. I know exactly what's going on inside your head. Do not, Brian. Come on, because it's right there.
He can't not. He can't not do it. He cannot. He's dying.
I know. That's Brian's torture.
Yeah.
It's like having something clever to say, but not being able to say it, or not being able to make that bridge.
I'm in hell. Mm-hmm. I'm my own personal hell.
Brian, you just. I mean, most people, I would imagine them. A lot of our listeners have seen War Games. Not many people have seen The Apartment, though. So that's what I'm thinking. But
no, you're right. I'll leave it at that. Oh. There's a great winning scene in War Games.
And I ruined it by saying pointing out the fact that it's the climax of the movie. So
I didn't say when it occurred.
I know, but you kept going, and then I got mad at you, pointing out the errors of your ways, and in doing so,
So wait,
it's my fault.
In 2018, I proposed this as possibly in the list.
Kind of as a throw-in at the end, like we're doing also rants, and like you're like, I almost had War Games on there, but I thought it might upset you. Would it have upset you? Yeah, of course, Brian. I was in a shitty mood in 2018. I was very, very sick. I had a cold. And
you was not a cold a couple weeks.
I know, it's weird. I get sick like once every 2 or 3 years.
It's always right after your birthday.
No, it's not. Look at you trying to connect the dots.
As he swirls.
I pay attention.
I pay attention to you. All right, let's hear from Better Bryan.
Number 1 from Better Bryan.
Brian.
You see what you did?
Forrest Gump quits running. It's so simple and so plain, but it's also absurd.
You see how you brevity. Do it? You see how you do it, Better Bryan? I mean, see how you do it, Brian? Better Bryan did it right.
Like Better Bryan?
It's not the climax.
You can do it better,
Forrest Gump.
Brian.
It's not like like you can know that he stops running in Forrest Gump and still enjoy the movie and not see it coming.
There's not really a good way to announce you're done running after 3+ years of doing it straight. And though he was addressing his group of followers, I get the feeling that he would have said those lines out loud to himself, even if he was the only one on the road.
This is one of those lines that we talk about, you quote, without really knowing you quote. I just often say, I'm kind of tired. I think I'm going home now.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. Without really thinking about what it's from.
When can Atticus watch that? I need to watch that with Atticus.
He quits talking to Jenny at one point.
And he does. Yeah.
That's the end, though.
She had a dad who was always touching and loving her.
He was very affectionate.
As Carano would say, stunning.
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 I was startled how beautiful she was.
She was stunning.
She was stunning. Atticus comes out the other day, and I'm sick, and I think Road Warrior's on or Mad Max. And he's like, I'm like, Atticus, do not look at the screen. Just go get what you need from the kitchen. Don't look at the screen. And he sneaks a peek, and he looks at me all because he gets really nervous. Like he's afraid of what I'm watching. If I have something on the screen, like it's good. It's a good, healthy fear. Like he doesn't want to. Actually, I paused it, and I said, you can see this, and it was a Mohawk. Yeah, it was Road Warrior. And
how's it going to go with Cosmo Ball?
He might come watch a little bit with us. So, it's tomorrow night. So, he's like, what is it, Daddy? And I said, it's a Road Warrior. It's one of the Mad Max movies. He's like, you sure do love your Mad Max, and just walks off. I'm like, the kid knows me. He's true. He's right.
He's like a distant grandparent.
God damn it. I love, dude. Yeah, Brian, I loved Mad Max. And the whole, like,
Sure.
Last week. Now I fucking love it. You know what I mean? Like now it's like tattoo time. It's like, do I?
I'm surprised you haven't done it yet.
I want a tattoo. I might go get myself a tattoo of hand banana and something Mad Max related.
The steering wheel with the head with the skull at the flames.
A little too. Looks like it might be a Pantera album cover or something.
It does look kind of offspringish.
Well, nothing on hand banana, guys.
I don't know what that is.
Tonight, you don't know? Aqua Teen Hunger Force? No,
I know the reference.
Sorry,
no.
I know the reference.
You've seen the.
I've heard. I know of the episode.
It's maybe the greatest 12 minutes of television ever made. Very offensive, but my God, do I love it. Tonight, you. Poor Carl. Okay. All right, we're doing also Rans. What are we doing?
Well, we were playing the clip. We're playing the clip of the running scene.
Oh, we got the running scene.
We have the clip.
Sorry.
I had run for 3 years, 2 months, 14 days, and 16 hours.
Flawless Alabama.
Quiet, he's gonna say something.
He says quiet, but no one's talking.
Long clip, right?
I'm pretty tired. Think I'll go home now.
Wasn't that Tom Hanks' brother who did a lot of the scenes? I had read that. With the beard and
the running?
leg.
Oh,
Yeah.
like the B team?
That's right.
The second unit. Tom's busy doing actual acting.
Now what are we supposed to do?
So this is a commentary really on
And just like that,
how we follow
Cult
idiots.
leaders, yeah.
my running days was over.
You know what? That's the one scene, and nothing against, it's a great quitting scene, but it's the one scene that I always cite with that movie as to why I couldn't really fall head over heels with Forrest Gump because it was so absurd. The ping pong and the running was just the running, especially the ping pong to an extent as well, but the running was just so. That's where it just took. It went to a place that just doesn't exist, right?
I saw it for the first time last year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
And I liked it, but I didn't love it. I think it had been too long, and I had heard too much about it.
It was very much of its time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was whimsical in a 1994 way.
It's a great movie, and I'm excited to show Atticus, and I get the accolades, but the reason why I just can't head over heels love it is because the running scene is just so stupid.
The running sequence is a diversion, you know what I mean? Where they throw in, it's too cute by half with him being the inspiration behind Shit Happens or behind the smiley face, you know what I mean? It's like, all right, I understand
it's
this
like
guy is
American pop culture history told through his eyes from like what it was like this pretty much the beginning of the civil rights through up until modern, like the day of the movie's release. And I'm not taking anything away from Better Brian's pick. It's a great quitting scene. But just that sequence in the movie is what. How do you respond to the running scene when
it was a bit much? Yeah, just a lot of it was a little over the top.
Yeah,
I liked it, but it's a lot.
What you're saying is that it hasn't aged quite as well as
yeah.
Not because of like stuff that might not be.
And I think I've heard the Forrest Gump thing parodied so much. Like I think it'd be like somebody. If you've
It's
never
fully
seen
part of the
Borat,
zeitgeist.
trying to go back and see Borat now, where you go, "Fuck, that's the voice everyone's doing."
Sometimes it works though. Sometimes you're like, "Oh, this is the lineage. Like this is the origin of all that." Like I like it even more. But
Like Borat's brilliant. I think it's fucking hysterical. But I don't know if somebody's never seen it going back now. I wonder how it would hold
Borat's
up.
not the right example because
Maybe
I think Borat's
Borat's
going to be
fucking
so
great.
it's going to be
Borat's great.
It goes so hard in the fucking crease that you can't. It's so hard in the paint. Like it's never.
Naked
that
wrestling.
douchebag that I used to work with. This is what he was imitating. Like I had no idea that it was like hairy ass naked running.
You might
through
like
a
the
fucking-
douchebag more.
Yeah, you might. Probably not. All right, what are we doing here? Also
rants for Brian. Better Brian. Jimmy quitting the band and that thing you do. Thompson giving up the search for Rosebud and Citizen Kane.
I thought he had that on his list. I talked to him today, and I thought that's a good pick.
Mitch losing it in Waiting, and Truman in the Truman Show.
Have we seen Waiting? I was talking with Better Brian earlier today about Waiting, and I'm like, that's such a Brian movie, and Brian agreed, or Brian told me it's a very Brian movie. You've never seen Waiting? God, that seems like your movie.
Oh,
I thought we had seen it, maybe.
Not me.
It's about the waiting staff and
it's about a restaurant.
servers.
Yeah,
And,
Fuck, that does seem like such a Brian film.
I mean, just look at the poster. Like,
Jesus.
it's a movie made for Brian.
It's got Ryan Reynolds and Justin Long and Anna Faris. What are you doing?
What are you doing, Brian?
I know.
This is the kind of like if you had the money and you had a sarcophagus or a tomb
Or a
you
war
would
rig.
You would probably have this plane in perpetuity, like forever in your tomb after you die, right? Like this is the type of movie that just be like on the top of your. Like
It is streaming on Freevee and Pluto.
But you don't want to interrupt Gold.
I know.
All right.
What was your number 2?
That's a good question.
All right, I'll do 10 to 1, and then you can do 5 to 1.
The apartment.
Here's my 10 to 1. This is what we chisel in the rock there, Brian. It's a little joke that I used back in 2018. I just heard it earlier in the week. Donnie quits in Wolf of Wall Street, 2013. Then I have for my original list, number 9, Moocher punches in and punches out in Breaking Away. Forgotten movie, 1979 movie,
that's a
Breaking Away.
Deep cut.
It's Kelly Leak. It's Jackie Earl Haley. And he goes and he's finally taking a job, and they're all kind of upset with him. They drop him off at his brand new job at the car wash, and he goes in, and his boss is a dick to him and calls him Shorty. And he just goes up before he even punches in, he just punches the fucking clock, breaks it, and walks away and gets back in the car with his friends. So that's him quitting before he even really starts.
Nice.
The taxi scene in Stripes, great fucking satisfying scene.
List.
That old bag. Throws the keys off the bridge. Bob Quits in The Incredibles was my number 7. Number 6 was Cue Card scene in Reality Bites. That's one of my new ones. Number 5 is Scarface is Out. And Half Baked, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. Fuck you. Great quitting scene. The Ram comes out in The Wrestler. He comes out and he quits as well. And it's very hard to see him punch that thing. God damn. Lester quits and blackmails in American Beauty. Number 3. Number 2 is Christine Chubbuck quits everything. Truly quits for keeps in Christine, 2016's Christine. Good movie, tough movie. And then number 1, could have killed that kid, the Bad News Bears, when Joey quits baseball and his relationship with his father.
My 2018 list, the wrestler is on there, number 5. The Stripes at number 4. Rudy, the whole team quits for Rudy. And number 3, number 2, good choice. Derek Vineyard quits the DOC in American History X. And number 1, the Royal Tenenbaums.
so sincere.
Richie Tenenbaum quits tennis.
Like he's reading the assigner list.
Bryan, you're just one of a kind. You really are.
Thanks, Mike.
Good choice.
That's a great choice. Way to go, Bryan. Way to go, 2018, Bryan.
Good choice, me.
Just shocking. Bryan doesn't listen to old episodes and just nod.
He might. He may. I was talking about American History X on 2018. I'm gonna up you, Bryan. I was very pleased with what I was hearing myself say, which was like my problem with American History X. I love that fucking movie. Tony Kaye, the madman that he has put together, a magnificent movie. The big problem with it is I could never really be obviously on Ed Norton's side after he quits. As an audience, we're supposed to be like on his side and like, fuck yeah, man, you do it. But he had already like taken life. He had already been a complete and total scumbag, and I will never ever be able to.
Story.
I could never ever forgive that guy or be on his side because he took the fucking life of the curb stomp dude.
It's true.
Just fucking took his. I don't want to quote myself, but I talked about all the things that he took. His vertebrae and his jaw.
You want to take a nose off too?
He did a lot of horrible things that I can never ever. I'm happy that he's going to stop doing those things, but I'm not going to like root for him. Yeah, I wouldn't really care if he got taken out.
It's a classic redemption story. Top 5 redemptions.
Did you hear us? Do you remember the story behind that movie and how Tony Kaye, insane director? I wonder what Tony Kaye's up to. He was so upset with the studio's cut of that movie that he had the right to do it. So at one point he was going to mandate that the DGA change his name on the actual movie. Imagine American History X being the movie that it is, right? The very, very serious, dark fucking commentary on racism, and his name that he was going to go with was going to be Humpty Dumpty. So I was going to say,
he's a Mercurial guy.
Directed by Humpty Dumpty right before the movie begins. That'd be the last credit you see. And I think they came to a compromise because it's not technically directed by Humpty Dumpty anymore, but that was on the table. Tony Kaye. Where's Tony Kaye?
He has an unreleased film.
It's probably spiraling based on that story.
I saw The Lobster, and it was not great. Something Lobster.
That was
Lake of Fire.
That was Yorgos. That was Yorgos Lanthimos.
No, I know. He did a Lobster movie with
and then
Adrian
did
Brody.
a film called Detachment. I think that's what you're thinking of.
It was Yorgos Lanthimos.
Something to do with a lobster. I'm telling you.
Well, Adrian Brody starred in his movie The Detachment.
I saw that.
That was Chuck Klosterman.
What about Chuck Klosterman? I like
Let's see
that
with
guy.
the lobster.
Look at Tony Kaye's IMDb picture. The man's a maniac.
That's Humpty Dumpty.
Total fucking maniac. He's got 5 upcoming directorial. Oh, he's got a movie called Humpty Dumpty coming out.
No, he doesn't.
It's completed. It's a video, but it's completed.
He looks like a Rick and Morty character.
Oh, look at this! It's fuck. When is this? I wonder if it's ever going to see the light of day. It says it's completed. It's a documentary about Tony Kaye's film American History X, and it's called Humpty Dumpty.
That's incredible. You got to watch more Rick and Morty. You got to watch some more.
I know. I haven't had a time. I've been Mad Max.
It is enjoyable.
What was the lobster thing that I was thinking of? God damn it. No, Lobby Lobster, right there. You see? Don't fucking question me. Do not question. All right, let's get out of here.
Shall we gamble?
2007, he made a movie called Lobby Lobster. You fucks.
Who could forget?
It never saw the light of day, I don't think. 72 ratings on IMDb.
Last week, we gambled on Furiosa.
Did we?
The Darkest Angel. Anderson gets 94. Bryan, 85.
Uh-oh.
The last minute with 305 reviews. The actual score is 90, making Anderson the winner.
Had it been 89, I would have won.
Yep.
Damn.
Damn. I don't know. Do we have any? I got like 4 movies to Flick Fest next week already. What are we doing?
My God.
I'm not going to assign you anything. We're done.
No.
For now.
We could pocket it.
Yeah, maybe when you least expect it.
You guys still owe me one when you tied.
What? Really?
Oh, yeah.
I thought
from like 5 months ago.
Really?
There was a tie, yeah.
What'd you have us watch?
I didn't. It's in the
just
back
pocketed
pocket. Yeah, because you said we're waiting
No,
until.
when we tie, Avery gets to us.
I know, but I thought that he gave us something.
Oh, you did too.
I gave you Devs, but there was
gave us-
one before.
Oh, you gave us Devs. What?
Yes, but
No,
it happened
there's not one
twice. It
before
happened
that.
twice.
No,
there was one before that.
I don't buy this.
Pull out.
Show me the. I remember Hombre. You gave us Hombre a number of years
That was
ago.
way back.
Yeah.
Hombre fucking.
And then we
rules.
watched Devs for you.
No,
I don't
there's
know what
another
you
one.
want from me. What do you want from me?
Who's the glorious listener that does the?
Mike Cole.
Mike Cole. It's Mike Cole. He knows.
Mike Cole will let us. Mike Cole, please, corroborate this story.
It was this. It was within the last 6 months. It's happened twice.
I don't think that's true. All right.
Find it, Mike.
Very unlikely. All right, what's coming out this week?
Well, the movie you're dying to see.
Mm-hmm.
We're gambling on Ezra.
What the fuck is that?
Andy's favorite poster.
I've never heard of it.
It's got Bobby D and Bobby Cannavale.
Oh, yes. Jesus Christ almighty. I forgot. They're actually giving that a big release. I thought they'd see the errors of their ways.
Bobby Cannavale is a stand-up comic with a special needs child and I think a strange relationship with his father, Bobby De Niro.
It's everything you hate about these types of movies. It's like it's aimed right at the people that don't need to see these kinds of movies because they're already feeling the joy in their heart.
All right, Avery, I was right. We tied before Devs.
What are you, Mike Colin it over there?
He assigned us Tony Erdman.
Oh, I did. Wait, did you guys never saw it?
No, nor will we ever.
You guys said we're not doing the gambling, and you never saw it. So I still have it. The assignment.
What is Tony Erdman?
It was with the woman Catherine.
Yeah, it was kind of a prestige,
What's
black
her
and white,
face?
right?
Why am I forgetting?
It's tough. It's a tough looking movie. It looks like homework.
No, it's not homework. It's great.
It looks like
but you will no longer be watching that.
Oh, really?
I
Come on.
retract it.
I got excited about it.
I really enjoyed that.
I've got something. It's not germane anymore. It is great though.
Tony Erdman.
It's a woman who did. Why can I not? Sandra Fuller. She was nominated.
Yeah, from the Fall or Anatomy of Fall.
Yes, Anatomy of a Fall and Nazi film.
Sandra Huller, I think.
Huller, yes. My brain is not. It's
Nazi-
deteriorating.
Nazi
rapidly.
From the fucking.
This is the whiskey. This is the whiskey.
Wait, no.
Nazi film.
Yeah, the Holocaust camp.
You're gonna get there. I can feel it.
Are you?
Yeah,
It's
I
out
got
of my
it.
mind. I can't.
You got it.
Are you getting that?
Yeah, I'm there. Go ahead. I want to watch you struggle.
Suffer.
It's kind of fun. Starts with a Z.
It's late, you guys.
Oh, I got it.
And it's not World War Z.
What is it?
Zone.
Of interest.
He says as though
As though he had it, right. Edit that later.
like he tricked you.
Right, you
Of
are.
interest.
You're
Of
great.
course.
Hey, we're supposed to watch The Guest soon. There's like 5 or 6 guests. It's a movie from. I'll give you the details later. It's a very good movie. I saw it way back when, and I think we're gonna get that movie from Campbell, but I'm still waiting for confirmation. So, once again, the listeners, I'm going back and forth, but I'm not getting confirmation. So, I let them know that I've seen it, but you have not seen it. So I'm
Wait,
waiting.
do we
to hear.
have listeners?
We don't, but we're going to be doing for Nick Eats Cake next week. Hey, can you recommend? Well, since we're ahead of it a little bit, can you recommend Alice in the Cities?
Who?
To the listener.
To the public at large.
Okay, so if you liked
Perfect
Paris,
Day,
Texas, then maybe you would like Alice in the City.
I'd say a Perfect Day too. Perfect Day, Perfect Days, Perfect Day.
Did I receive Perfect?
Perfect Day.
Yeah, it was up for like Best Picture last
Vim
year.
Wenders.
Vim Wenders.
Japanese toilet film.
Oh no, this is
It's the same pacing.
Perfect Days is better.
If you like Come On, Come On, if you like Paper Moon, this is one of the early
Deliberate.
early examples of like old curmudgeons stuck with a young person. And even though it's not exactly that, but it's generational gap. And
yeah, it's got a slow but deliberate pace.
And I really did not have a problem with this movie at all. That's not to say that I loved it and I can't wait for everyone to see it, but I was never going like looking at my clock. I was never looking at my watch.
Same.
Her performance was fucking
She was
amazing.
great.
She was great. I wanted to spend more time with her. He was great as well. It's just a movie about a guy getting, and it's a movie of its time where shit's happening, especially with the mom.
It's 1974.
Where she's allowing things to happen, and it's like you would never ever. If this movie got made today, it would be the topic on every single like morning show, and it would be ugly. But it's a movie of its time.
Yeah, it's a tough recommend, but it's good. I'm glad I saw it.
It's very good, and I feel like there's a lot of origin there as far as this type of movie that's been done for laughs. This isn't done for laughs. I love Come On, Come On.
Oh yeah, this is like a Walter Matthau vehicle in America.
Yeah, it would be, but it's not. Did you never saw Come On, Come On, right? With
No, I don't think so.
With Joaquin Phoenix. I absolutely love that movie. And this is, I think Come On, Come On is almost like in some ways, a direct tribute to this movie. So Alice in the Cities, it's streaming on Criterion. You can rent it. I rented it because I'm not a Criterion snob.
But that was last week's thing. Are we?
We're passing it next week. So
right, but I'm saying, do we have a listener assignment for this week?
I don't. I'm waiting to hear if the guest is it. And that's all we have right now as far as what I've heard back from listeners. So
I'll go ahead and watch the guest if you want.
Do you have a guess for Ezra?
Oh, Ezra.
Fucking Ezra.
Ezra looks... See, like, I get Garfield, like like we were talking about, it wasn't competing with Furiosa directly, right? Now, if Ezra came out
All-star program
and was beating, and Ezra might beat Furiosa this week, which is just like then I think I might have to
look at tickets with
jettison,
find ways to leave,
figure out.
Don't know
for China might be like building a nuclear power plant on the moon. I would maybe go over to defect to China and see if maybe I can volunteer for that project. Yeah. Seriously.
I'll dig some moon rocks.
I got a small child. He can get into like small crevices. He'll come with me.
Avery, I don't see Ezra on Box Office Mojo.
I saw it on a movie Insider.
What?
The Guest. 2014's The Guest. Starring Dan Stevens. Right. The Guest. Starring Dan Stevens.
That's some crazy. Might be wrong. It's a scant week.
Ezra, because everyone was afraid of Fury Road. And look
USA release May 31st, 2024.
All right, I'm in.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about this. I literally have never heard of it.
I was talking shit about it. Look at the poster, Brian. Look at it.
I've not looked at it.
Look at the fucking poster. It's Bobby Cannavale and Robert De Niro. And the fact that there's a movie, there's a movie coming out with those two in it, and I'm furious about it, tells you something about.
Furious?
Look. Taxi Driver. Look at it.
I don't know what to make of this.
This is the apocalypse. This is my apocalypse.
That's your baseline.
If I'm like 13 years old watching Taxi Driver and I'm like, hey, you want to see your boy Bobby D in 2024? I would look at that and be like, so a bomb dropped. A bomb of absolute cringe dropped.
The world's over.
Look at that. Look at his face.
Our bones are poison.
I'm ready.
That self-satisfaction, like, oh, it's a sweet, good moment.
What the shit is Ezra?
God, it looks like a Jesus movie.
I feel like, is it religious?
I don't think it, but it might be with that title.
I saw a family taking a photo in front of that religious movie poster.
Did you really?
About, yeah.
How white was that family? Very.
I was hoping that at the very least one of the kids was a child actor in it. That was the only excusable.
All right, let's get out of here. What the fuck? It's 10
Not
o'clock.
even. Oh, weird. Okay.
I'm going to go see Ezra in theaters, just to let you know.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
I love.
Well, we got to talk about the big sexy.
I love Cannavale. I loved De Niro, and it's like, look at this. Look at it. All right, 50. Go ahead, Brian. What do you want?
Oh, I was gonna say 49.
No, you weren't.
I really was.
I'm gonna change that
Actually,
38.
I was leaning on 50. If I like, I'll go 49. Oh, I
All
give you
right.
50.
Anderson gets 50. Brian 49. With 15 reviews, the current Rotten Tomato score is 68%.
Shit, I should have gone 50.
No, it's 15 reviews, Brian. Tony
Still.
Goldwyn. Is he part of Samuel Goldwyn's family? Tony Goldwyn.
You know Tony Goldwyn? Yes, he is part of Samuel Goldwyn's family.
What did he make?
He was an actor. He was in Ghost. He was the villain. He was the double crossing best friend. Tony Goldwyn's great.
Well, it's up to 19 reviews at 68.
68 still.
Yep.
Look up Tony Goldwyn.
I'm looking at his face. I don't like it.
I have no interest in Tony.
You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, he's Carl in Ghost. Yeah. He's in The Last Samurai. He's a mechanic. You know, he's an Oppenheimer. Look at this. He's Gordon Gray.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we all know his face.
He looks
I
like
like
Viggo
this guy.
Mortensen a little bit.
Is he really part of the Goldwyn family?
Yes, yes.
Oh, you got to change your name. You got to change your name, Tony. Like Nicolas Cage. He's not going Nicolas Coppola. He went Cage. You got to change your name when it's that synonymous with the biz, right?
Really,
He's in it too. He plays the guy named Bruce. All right, I got to see this movie.
I like Tony Goldwyn.
I might go see Ezra. What's the rating on here? What are we doing here? Oh, it's R? I'm fucking in. This might be one of the greatest examples of a terrible, terrible poster. R-rated? I would have never guessed. Comedian Max co-parents autistic son Ezra. That's what I was. I saw this trailer. It was awful. Autistic son Ezra with ex-wife Jenna faced with crucial decisions about Ezra's future. Max and Ezra go on a life-changing cross-country road trip.
Sounds good.
I love that Vera Farmiga too. I'm burying her.
It doesn't sound bad.
I love all
Rose
three.
Byrne.
I don't like how Tony Goldwyn puts himself as the lead though, and on IMDb. Look at that. Is he the lead? He's the lead as well. Jesus.
Thanks to
Rain Wilson. I'm seeing this movie. Whoopi Goldberg's in it, bro. I'll tell you that.
Thanks to Rand Courtney for the listener art this week. I assume this is a reference to Anderson caring for me at my times of need.
No, I think it's about me getting Julian IV earlier.
Oh, no, that makes all more sense. Well,
Self-centered
I
bastard.
don't know where they found a shirtless picture of me, but all right.
You're pretty ripped.
Pretty ripped. Pretty cut. Thanks, Rand, and thanks to Nick Eats Cake for the assignment that we'll talk about next week.
Yeah.
Alice in the City. Alice in the Cities. Anderson and Bryan is the website where you can find Rand's listener art, or you can find Nick. Well, nothing about Nick, but you can find information about the Split Infinitives. The Split Infinitives are our feature artists of the week. Check them out, AndersonandBryan.com. That is the website. Instagram is Anderson Bryan. TikTok is Anderson Bryan. The Film Vault Twitter. The Film Vault Facebook. The Film Vault Podcast on YouTube. And speaking of which, thanks Eric Kath for making the YouTube happen. Thanks Giovanni Drake, killing it with the social media. Meticulous record keeping this week. And of course the Goose. Thank you for helping the show go.
Brian Avery and I are enjoying a poster of the Cosmo Ball.
Cosmo
tomorrow
Ball.
night.
I'll be enjoying that.
I'm actually really looking forward to Cosmo Ball.
Cosmo Ball. Patreon.com/thefilmvault. We will have a spoiler edition for Furiosa, yes?
Oh, yeah. Fuck, we still got to do that.
We do. So that'll be up this week, probably as you hear this, and you can enjoy that and all the other good stuff over there. Patreon.com/thefilmvault. When's the next comedy confessional?
Good question. The next comedy confessional is going to be June 10th.
Hey.
7th. June 7th. I take it
Nice.
back. June 7th. So go to @ConfessComedy on Instagram to find tickets. It's going to be good. It'll be a good time. It is at Santa Monica at the Crow.
You can't guarantee it's going to be good.
Oh, I can guarantee.
Well, bold
I
statement.
can guarantee.
Bold statement. All right, you guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for downloading. Thanks for supporting the show. We appreciate you. And until next time.
We do it for Van Gogh.